Visit Lander Gambles to make your home feel like new. They will beat any competitor's price. Stop by to speak to one of the sales agents or visit LanderGambles.com. Lander Gambles will help you find the perfect product that fits your budget and lifestyle. Lander Gambles, 420 Main Street, Lander, Wyoming.
Natural Health Solutions offers treatments for a variety of conditions, along with nutritional counseling, chiropractic, acupuncture, and more. Treatment plans designed individually to optimize your health. Call for an appointment, 856-8181 today.
Back when I was riding in rodeos, I always made sure I was locked in, good and tight. Now as a touring musician, crisscrossing the country, I still make sure I'm locked in, good and tight. Of course I do.
Hauling ass, heading south, down the road in a gray Cadillac, coupe to fill.
Buckle up for life, Wyoming.
When repairs are complete after a collision, you expect your car, SUV, or truck to look like new. That's the service you'll receive at Stork Auto Body in Riverton. Professionalism and meticulous attention to detail. You can depend on Stork Auto Body, 841 Miniweb Avenue, Riverton.
From the wide open spaces to the canyon near you, Wyoming.com is reaching more homes and businesses than ever before. Now it's getting even better. Wyoming.com, expanding to an area near you.
Why should your new floor come from Carpet One? Because we're passionate about the spaces our neighbors call home. We're part of your community, and we're also part of the world's largest cooperative of independently owned and operated flooring stores. So you can be sure you'll get great selection and outstanding value with every installation. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, tile, or luxury vinyl, our experts take the guesswork out of choosing the right floor. We're your local Carpet One Floor and Home, the one store for your perfect floor.
Wyoglass wants to wish all the Lander Valley Tiger teams good luck this year. Wyoglass is locally owned and operated in Lander. They bleed green. Call or stop in today to get a quote on a window or get a quick fix on your window for a rock chip. Wyoglass is Lander.
High Plains Power is a Touchstone Energy cooperative. What does that mean for you as a Rural Electric Association member? It all comes down to 7 principles: open membership, one voice, one vote, member benefits, independence, education, cooperation, and community. To understand how it all works, we're headed back in time. In 1879, electricity was in major cities, but rural areas were out of luck. In 1935, President FDR made it possible for companies to build power lines to unserved areas. By the time we hit 1941, some 400 electric co-ops had been organized to serve rural America, just like High Plains Power. For more information, visit highplainspower.org.
Back when I was riding in rodeos, I always made sure I was locked in, good and tight. Now as a touring musician, crisscrossing the country, I still make sure I'm locked in, good and tight. Of course I do.
Hauling ass, heading south, down the road in a gray Cadillac.
Gotchi Rehabilitation and Wellness knows what it means to be on top of your game. For over 60 years, Gotchi has led the field in providing physical therapy, occupational therapy, and wellness in Thermopolis and their facilities in Moreland, Basin, Powell, Cody, and Shoshone. Whether you're recovering from an injury, deconditioned, post-stroke, or just looking to take control of your health, you'll find years of dedicated experience paired with personal care at Gotchi Rehabilitation and Wellness. Learn more at gotchi.org.
Riverton's Hampton Inn & Suites is proud to sponsor our youth athletics in Fremont County. Fremont County school athletics provide our youth timeless experiences and lessons that can lead to success for life. Setting goals, teamwork, and hard work make young athletes into good citizens.
A proud sponsor of this broadcast is Bailey Enterprises. For over 50 years, Bailey has become the name you can trust. With Pit Stop Travel Centers, you can fuel up and stock up on trip snacks at locations all over Fremont County. You can also put your trust in Bailey Tire and Auto for service to keep handy for those times when your luck runs out on the road. Refresh at the Speedway Cafe with a dine-in meal or a round of carry-out with a variety of specials to keep you going. Go with Bailey.
Visit Lander Gambles to make your home feel like new. They will beat any competitor's price. Stop by to speak to one of the sales agents or visit LanderGambles.com. Lander Gambles will help you find the perfect product that fits your budget and lifestyle. Lander Gambles, 420 Main Street, Lander, Wyoming.
Well, good afternoon, Lander Valley High School Tiger football fans. The Tigers are in Douglas, Wyoming this afternoon for a game against the 6-1 Douglas Bearcats. The Tigers are 5-2, and this game will determine who will be the champion of the East Conference and get that top seeding in the playoffs this coming week. Ernie over along with Shawn here at Douglas High School. Beautiful facility here in Douglas, Shawn.
Gorgeous weather, too. I mean, outside the wind, you couldn't ask for a better day right now.
Speaking of the wind, it's blowing at 25 miles per hour, and it's coming right out of the west. So we've got a real strong wind here at Douglas High School this afternoon, and that could impact some of the play today, especially in the kicking game.
Definitely. Lander Valley comes in with the number one kicker in 3A with Matisse Weaver, but, you know, it's one thing going against a defense trying to block the ball. When the wind is not your friend, that could make a huge difference, and 3 points could make a really big difference on some seeding here because Lander needs to win by 7, so if a floppy field goal doesn't go through because of the wind, that could be a big problem when the playoffs come around.
Now, the good news is we got great gas mileage coming over from Fremont County this afternoon with that strong wind to our back. The Lander Valley High School Tigers coming in with a record of 5-2. They've defeated Green River 44-16, Evanston 28-24, Riverton 29-28, Rollins 28-0, Worland 31-13. While losing 2 games to Powell 10-7 and to Buffalo 29-21. And that Buffalo team is in 3rd place, Shawn. And had the Tigers not had those 4 turnovers and given Buffalo the easy field for 3 of their touchdowns, the Tigers might have been in even better on the playoff scene.
Oh, yeah, they probably wouldn't have to worry about this game just as much. But now you're right, those 4 turnovers, that was our first game together, and that was a rough one to watch as a Lander fan because everything was going right. They would just fumble the ball on the best part of their drives, and it was just always crazy to see how that Lander team just deteriorated on their own selves.
Last season, the Douglas Bearcats in a game at Lander defeated the Tigers 29-6, and the Tigers have not had a lot of success against the Douglas Bearcats overall. Lander has won 7 games in the all-time series to Douglas's 16 games. Head coach of the Tigers is John Scott in his 5th year, now with a 24-17 record. And I tell you what, Jay Rhodes in his 14th year, Shawn, here at Douglas, has an outstanding record, 113-36 losses.
Yeah, he's been coach for half of my entire life, so I imagine that this team, and you could tell this facility, this school takes football very seriously. You can just tell by the stadium, the press box, the field, everything about this school screams football team and a football school. So I'm excited to watch them play up close and personal. I have watched some film over the last couple days. They look dangerous.
And this is a relatively new press box, too. The last time I was here, I don't remember it being a double-decker, but fortunately, we're in on the first floor of the press box. We have a wonderful vantage point right on the 50-yard line. Buffalo's wins, by the way, have come over Gary, Nebraska, 45-24, over Powell, 34-14, over Worland, 24-7, over Buffalo, 24-14, over Riverton, 56-7, and over Rollins, 57-16. Their only loss on the season was a 17-9 setback to the Jackson Hole Bronx. Both teams qualified for the playoffs last year. The Tigers lost in the quarterfinals to Star Valley, and the Bearcats lost to Jackson Hole 28-20 in the semifinals. So both of these teams have playoff experience, and And I know, Shawn, we've been talking about this, and so has the Tigers. It's one of their goals to not only make the playoffs, but win that first playoff game, which they haven't been able to do lately.
Yeah, they call it the quarterfinal curse because I think it's been 4 years straight. So all these seniors have dealt with that in the back of their minds all season. So this game, giving them home field advantage, could really, really help. Obviously, they have had home field advantage before and still lost, but they need this win because they'd like to be a little bit more comfortable as they try and break that curse. They definitely have the team to do it. I know Jack Pasquinelli does not have his pads on, but if he were to come back healthy for the playoffs, that's a huge boost to this Lander offense.
Yeah, Pasquinelli suffered a concussion in our last game and is now on the sideline. He's wearing his jersey, but no pads and no football pants. The Lander-Douglas connection, Shawn, is a good one. The former head coach of the Lander Valley Tigers, Doug Hughes, is the athletic director here at Douglas High School. The former superintendent of Fremont #1, Paige Fenton Hughes, is the superintendent here in Douglas. And a young man who got his start in football in Lander, Jackson Hughes, is the starting wide receiver. He was the quarterback last year, and that's, of course, Paige and Doug's son. So a lot of connections here between Douglas and Lander.
Yeah, and that Jackson Hughes is up there in all the stat sheets, which we will come back and give you some stats, but Jackson Hughes is at the top of almost every list on offense. So that's going to be a guy that Lander has to key on, and that's going to be someone both on offense and defense that the Tigers just cannot let out of their sights, or he will make them pay.
The Douglas Bearcats are dressed in their blue uniforms with white and red piping and accoutrements on the side. All of the Douglas players are wearing pink shoes and pink socks, with one exception. I spotted one kid out there that didn't have them on.
And he's not going to start because of that. No, I'm just kidding. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so it's always nice to see teams do as much as they can to show their support. We went to the Riverton and Lander volleyball game last night, which was a pink out, and they donated quite a bit of good money there to breast cancer awareness.
And this is Lander Tiger football. You're listening on KFCW 93.1 and live streaming the video on YO Today YouTube. We'll be back with more of our pregame show after this.
Community Health Centers of Central Wyoming has locations across Fremont County ready to serve you at DuBois Medical Clinic, Riverton Community Health, and Lander Community Health Pediatrics. We accept all forms of insurance, including Medicaid and Medicare. Are you struggling to get medical care? Ask for their sliding fee scale. From family medicine to pediatrics, Community Health Centers are here to serve you. Call 307-463-7160 or visit chccw.org to schedule your appointment. Wyoming Community Bank is ready to serve you. Stop in at any one of their branches located in Riverton, Lander, and DuBois. A bank that is owned and operated by the locals of Fremont County. Wyoming Community Bank. They're here to help you.
Your car or truck is an investment. When it needs repairs, you need someone you can trust to do the job right. Take it to Gunner's Automotive. They repair all makes and models of cars and trucks, from oil changes to brakes, tires, and more. Gunner's Automotive, 856-2288.
Jay Collins here, and I want to wish all the Fremont County athletes good luck this year. Stop down at Fremont Chevy to talk sports and let me help you purchase your next vehicle. Jay Collins, your local sales professional at Fremont Chevy Buick GMC, 307-349-7846.
My name is Sarah Lowe, and I have been in law enforcement in Fremont County for 13 years. I didn't know much about therapy in general until I got injured in October of 20 chasing a cow. So I had to get shoulder surgery. And after my surgery with Fremont Orthopedics, I went to Fremont Therapy. And they were really excited to see you. So it was a really warm, welcoming experience. We tried all sorts of different methods to increase and make sure I had the best mobility for my job. Rachel's a firecracker. She's just a little spitfire. It was fantastic, a great environment to go and have your therapy.
Are you a caring person that wants to help but not sure where to go? Wyoming Senior Citizen Inc. is looking for caregivers across the state. Call 307-856-6880 to find out more information. They would like to wish all Fremont County athletes good luck this year.
Back again at Bearcat Stadium in Douglas, Wyoming, as the teams, the captains have just met for the coin toss, and it appears the Lander Tigers have won the toss, and they are going to defer to the second half. So Douglas will get the ball first. Douglas will be defending the goal to our east, so they'll be moving right to left as we get the football game started. We have a small group of fans over here from Lander that are in the bleachers. Now, I'm not sure how many of those fans might be out in their vehicles. This is kind of similar to Shoshone's football field, Shawn, as they can drive up and park right in front of the fence that borders the football field. It's kind of a bowl here in Douglas, a very nice facility.
Very nice, and yeah, you can park up like I'm showing on the YO Today YouTube page right now. You can pull up, just park your car out, and you're basically in the bleachers. But I got to say, those are some of the nicest looking bleachers over there. Those are stone bleachers that the opponent's fans get to sit in while, obviously they don't have a back or anything like these aluminum ones for the Douglas fans, but still really nice. This is a great facility.
Yeah, those are native stone bleachers over there, which will last a long time. I tell you, it really looks nice too. We noticed a funny thing coming into the stadium. The Pep Club or somebody painted little bear claw footprints on the cement with only 3 toes, and of course on the field, the Bearcats paw has 4.
Yes, it does.
Toes. So. Maybe they better go and repaint those, or maybe they haven't noticed yet.
Can I just say, very smart for Lander to determine to kick left to right on your radio dial, because the sun for this whole first quarter is going to be directly in the eyes of anyone moving right to left, which for this first quarter is going to be Douglas.
And that's right. And, of course, as if Matisse Weaver doesn't need any additional help from the wind, he will be kicking with the wind from the west to the east. And let's go now to our Sutherland starting lineup here on YO Today YouTube and KFCW 93.9. We're going to go first with the Douglas...
You said 93.9. It's 93.1.
Oh, 93.1. I'm sorry.
We've got so many radio stations that we work for.
Yeah, 93.1. And, Shawn, you want to do the defensive starters for the Douglas Bearcats?
I would love to, yeah. Jackson Hodgba is going to be a defensive back. Trey Wren, their starting quarterback, is also going to be playing safety there. And Jackson Hughes, we talked about earlier, he's going to be a defensive back. He's a senior. This is going to be his senior night, I would suppose. Another senior, Brock Pyle, playing defensive back. He is going to be a corner more than a safety. And then Luke Skeen, another senior. He is a linebacker. He's a 5'11", 185. Brody Wagner, another linebacker, a junior. He's 6 foot, 165. Carson Ewing, he's a little shorter, 5'8", 170. He's a linebacker. He's a senior as well. He's starting. And Luke Ewing, who is a name you will probably hear a lot, he is a defensive back. He's going to be out there in the corner slot as well. Carter Archuleta, a 5'11", 205 linebacker. TK Stenson is a 6 foot, 200 defensive lineman. And Tegan Seeds is going to be the 6'2", 270 defensive lineman, and he's a junior.
And for the Lander Tigers, going off on defense first, will be the weekend Tristan Osborne. The tackle will be Wesley Downs. The other tackle, Caleb Hamilton. The end on the right side will be Matisse Weaver. The backup linebacker will be Gabe Harris. The middle wide linebacker is Rope Clip and Caden Rowan. And the slot linebacker on the right side is Hunter Velarde. The corner, Brody Moffitt. The free safety, Brandon Stauffenberg. And the corner is Joel Beaver. So the Tigers will kick off to the Douglas Bearcats. And Douglas will be on offense first, and Lander will be on defense. Our starting lineups today brought to you by Sutherland's Home Improvement Center for Fremont County, located in Riverton.
Yeah, and that Douglas offense, they're going to be starting with a lot of the same names you just heard. Tegan Seeds is going to be their offensive tackle, while Malaki Lennon is going to be their guard. Logan Ortega is going to be their center. TK Stenson is going to be a guard, and Alex Virtue is going to be an offensive tackle. Meanwhile, Micah Turk is going to be their wide receiver alongside Brock Pyle and Jackson Hughes. And one of the only teams to actually list a fullback, Luke Skeen is going to be the fullback, while Carson Ewing is going to be the tailback behind quarterback Trey Wren. And their kicker, Jackson Hughes, punter Jackson Hughes, holder Brock Pyle, and long snapper Trey Wren.
The Lander Valley offense on the tackles on the left side is Tristan Osborne. On the right side, Jesse Dollard. The left guard, Caleb Hamilton. And the right guard, Cody Phillips. The center is Rope Glick. In the backfield, we have Joel Beaver, the split end on one side. Evan Stevenson, the flanker on the other. Quarterback is Brandon Stauffenberg, and behind him, the R-back is Matisse Weaver. The H-back is Matisse Weaver. Is Caden Rowan, and the H-back is Gabe Harris. We have too many Weavers in there, don't we? And for the Tigers, the punter, Matisse Weaver, he'll also do all the kicking. Punt returner is Gabe Harris. The long snapper is Gabe Harris. And there are two players out for the Lander Valley Tigers this game. Johnson Baker, a sophomore, and Zion Calabreras, who was injured and has been to each game, but he's been with his crutches on. He had a knee injury earlier this season.
Yeah, they've got a lot of kids coming back from injury. They're really hoping that everyone can be healthy by next week's playoff games. For right now, though, I think that they have a pretty good slew of weapons right now. Even with Pasquinelli out, their secret weapon's been Evan Stevenson, who we've talked to twice now in 2 weeks because he just keeps catching touchdowns. So I imagine that they will continue to look his way, especially with Pasquinelli out of the rotation.
And if they pay too much attention to Evan Stevenson, Joel Beaver is on the other side, and he's been catching a lot of passes as well, Shawn.
Yeah, and he's a little bit smaller than the rest of them, but he is speedy. He's shifty. He's whatever term you want to use. He can get around the tackles, and he's one of those people, if you let him out into some open space, you're going to have a tough time trying to catch up to him.
We did have a game last night in Fremont County. It was Rocky Mountain 35 and Wind River nothing. The Grizzlies win clinches the number 2 seed in the West Conference thanks to tiebreakers. And the Cougars last night were without their starting quarterback and their starting running back.
Yeah,
so,
and
they had injuries.
And J.C. Herbert is not just their starting running back. He's like a Debo Samuel type of person for that offense. He can do it all. He comes out of the back. He goes to slot. He goes out deep. He goes spread offense. He goes wing offense. J.C. Herbert can do it all, and it was pretty obvious last night that they missed his talents. I have heard from Cody Beers, who was calling that game last night, that they do expect both Burke and Herbert to be back next week. Sadly, the Wind River Cougars will have to be on the road for their first playoff game. And remember, they were undefeated just 2 weeks ago and held the number 1 seed.
And they lost to Shoshone and then to Rocky Mountain with that injury as the Douglas Bearcats, as you can see on our YO Today YouTube channel, come on to the field here at Bearcat Stadium. Other games involving local teams, Riverton is at Warland. That is a 6 p.m. start. That's on KTAK 93.9 and YO Today YouTube. Lovell is at Thermopolis. That's number 1 Lovell. That's going to be a tough game.
That's going to be very tough.
That's at 7 o'clock at Leroy Hayes Field. In Class 1A 6-man, DuBois played this afternoon against Burlington. We'll have to get that score for you. And the Grable at St. Stephen's game was canceled. The Buffs get a win on forfeit. And then later on today, it'll be Tent Sleep at Hannah Elk Mountain, or HEM. That was the HEM is the school with the largest with the largest name in Wyoming. It's Hannah Elk Mountain Medicine Bow. They just shortened it to HEM.
It's a mouthful for sure. They're not doing well this season, though, so I'm sure that they could probably use a little bit of help right now. Thermopolis is going to have their hands full. You can catch that game, I believe, on 101.7.
That's right, 101.7 KDNO. Yeah. Well, let's take a break for these commercial announcements from our sponsors, and then we'll be back with the first quarter of the Lander Valley and Douglas football game from Douglas High School.
Back when I was riding in rodeos, I always made sure I was locked in, good and tight. Now as a touring musician, crisscrossing the country, I still make sure I'm locked in, good and tight. Of course I do.
Hauling ass, heading south, down the road in a gray Cadillac, coupe to bill.
Buckle up for life, Wyoming.
The choice is yours. Sutherland's Friends of the Family Plus Consumer Credit Card lets you choose from 5% off instantly at the register or special financing on qualifying purchases. That means no forms, no waiting, no rebates. You can choose 5% off instantly with your Sutherland's credit card. Got a big project? Choose special financing. The choice is yours with Sutherland's Friends of the Family Plus Consumer Credit Card. Subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payment required. See store for details. Only at Sutherland's.
Papa Murphy's is proud to sponsor this week's Player of the Game. For a limited time, enjoy a Papa Murphy's barbecue chicken pizza made with KC Masterpiece barbecue sauce. After the game or anytime, you can't beat the fresh ingredients and authentic flavor of a Papa Murphy's Take and Bake pizza. And you know it's baked right every time because you baked it yourself. Papa Murphy's on North Federal in Riverton. Drop in or order online at papamurphys.com. Go Wolverines!
Snyder Signature Properties would like to give a huge shout out to the local sports of Fremont County. They are here to support your team and your local home real estate needs. Call today to see how Snyder Signature Properties can help you buy and sell your next property. Good luck to all Fremont County athletes.
Why should your new floor come from Carpet One? Because we're passionate about the spaces our neighbors call home. We're part of your community, and we're also part of the world's largest cooperative of independently owned and operated flooring stores. So you can be sure you'll get great selection and outstanding value with every installation. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, tile, or luxury vinyl, our experts take the guesswork out of choosing the right floor. We're your local Carpet One Floor and Home, the one store for your perfect floor.
You need an oil change, but you don't have a lot of time. Expressway Lubes on South Federal in Riverton and Highway 789 in Lander provide a fast, professional lube oil and filter change. Expressway Lubes, locally owned and proud to support our local student athletes.
Central Wyoming College now offers Bachelor of Applied Science degrees in Early Childhood Education and Organizational Management and Leadership, with an emphasis in outdoor education, tribal leadership, or business and entrepreneurial leadership. CWC offers 3 ways to learn: online, virtual, and in person. Learn, grow, lead, and advance at Central Wyoming College. CWC is leading the way with expanded programs in the Bachelor of Applied Science degrees.
It's Physical Therapy Month.
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 October is National Physical Therapy Month, and here at Teton Therapy we are celebrating all month long. In our Lander and Riverton clinics, we're hosting special events, celebrations, and great giveaways for our patients, past, present, and future. Check us out at Teton Therapy PC on Facebook for more details.
Whatever. I like April better.
Back when I was riding in rodeos, I always made sure I was locked in, good and tight. Now as a touring musician, crisscrossing the country, I still make sure I'm locked in, good and tight. Of course I do.
Hauling ass, heading south, down the road in a gray Cadillac, coupe to bill.
Buckle up for life, Wyoming.
When repairs are complete after a collision, you expect your car, SUV, or truck to look like new. That's the service you'll receive at Stork Auto Body in Riverton. Professionalism and meticulous attention to detail. You can depend on Stork Auto Body, 841 Miniweb Avenue, Riverton.
Riverton Vision Center offers comprehensive eye health exams, highly trained staff, and a large selection of fashion eyewear and sunglasses. Dr. Ballard, Dr. Hinkle, and Dr. Frazier offer over 70 years of experience. Call Riverton Vision Center at 856-9451 to schedule an appointment today.
Well, the Lander Valley Tigers getting ready to meet the Douglas High School Bearcats. You've heard the starting lineups. It's a beautiful afternoon, albeit a bit windy here at Douglas High School. The high school is on the northern edge of the main drag here in Douglas on the east side of the community. There's nothing between the high school and the rest of the state to the north except these beautiful hills, Shawn, with those nice scrub pines on the hills.
Yeah, some of the only trees that aren't yellow and red right now up there. And you're right, this is really pretty. I like the big letter D on the mountain there, which you said was for the Wyoming 7, one of which was from Douglas. So they added a little bit of an accent mark on the big hills here.
Yeah, they sure have. And that one silhouette of a runner is up on top of the hill that they light every night. Of course, one of the Riverton athletes, Ryan Johnson, was also involved in that really tragic wreck that killed 7 of the Wyoming cross-country runners. And there are honors like this all over the state. And, of course, the Come Ride With Us Memorial Plaza there at the University of Wyoming is really special. Well, we're just getting ready to go. The Lander Tigers will be kicking off to the Douglas Bearcats, and going back for the Bearcats to receive the kick here is going to be
probably Jackson. He's the number one kick returner in the entire league.
Yeah, Jackson is back there in the goal line, and he's also back there along with Trey Wren. Wren on the top side, Jackson on the near side, and the Matisse Weaver is getting ready to go. The crowd is on its feet. Just an awful lot of pink here tonight. Breast cancer awareness. Matisse Weaver at the 30-yard line will approach and kick the ball at the 40, and he will have the wind at his back. There's the whistle. He approaches the ball, it falls off the tee just as he got there.
And I have a feeling that's how a lot of tonight is going to go with this wind.
Yeah, they might have to have a player come and hold the football for him. We can see the officials down there in front of where Matisse is, and they're
going to get Stevenson to kneel down and do the holding.
Well, their uniforms are just flapping in the wind.
Yeah.
It is really windy. So Evan Stevenson will hold the football. Matisse Weaver now takes his 7 or 8 steps back to the 30-yard line, moves 4, 5 steps to the left. The officials again are ready. Tigers have their hands in the air. They slap their thigh pads. Here's the approach to the football, and the kick is going to go way out of the end zone.
Ooh, almost a field goal.
Almost a field goal. So the Douglas Bearcats, Shawn, will get the ball at the 20-yard line as we start this important game. If Lander can win tonight, they need to win by 7 points to capture the number 1 seed and have a home playoff game.
Yeah, this offense, we've already mentioned it a little bit. They are difficult to stop because they are pretty much in the top 5 of almost everything. They have a top 4 rushing offense in 3A. They have a top 2 passing offense in 3A, and that leads up to a top 3 total offense. So Lander's got their work cut out for them.
Wide receivers on each side. The handoff goes right to number 12, and that is Jackson Hughes. And Jackson's going to pick up yardage close to a first down. It will be a little bit short. He's going to get 7 yards on the carry, and that will be at the 27. It will be 2nd down and 3 yards to go.
Yeah, Jackson Hughes ranks just below Jack Pasquinelli, believe it or not, on average yards per game on the ground. So that's something that they're going to want to nip in the bud right now.
Brock Pyle off to the right side. Micah Turk off to the left side. In the gun is the quarterback. He rolls to his right side, throws downfield, dropped. Caught and dropped. And that was Brock Pyle that dropped that. On coverage for the Tigers, Jesse Dollard.
Boy, he was pretty wide open. I mean, he only had about 2 or 3 yards of separation, but he was just sitting there waiting for the pass. Lander's very lucky that he dropped that. Now it's 3rd and 7? 3rd and
3.
3rd and 3, I'm sorry.
Yep. Play just started, 11:49 to go. First period, no score in the game here at Douglas. Trey Wren comes in from the sideline with a play from Coach Jay Rhodes. Now they line up, same formation. Wide receivers on each side. Offset I. Now again, Jackson Hughes in motion. Handoff goes to the second man through, and he is going to be short of the first down. They're going to mark him down at the 29-yard line, and carrying that time was Carson Ewing.
I think Ewing dove. Yeah, they dove right at the end, and Ewing was not down entirely when he dove forward, but it was a great use of that extra effort, that little push-off with that last leg that he had on the ground, got him that extra half a yard.
Boy, they got a nice friendly spot on that ball, too. I thought he was well short of the 30, but not. So the football right on the 30-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. First down of the game for Douglas. They come out in that same formation again. Jackson Hughes is now in motion again. Back to pass is Wren. Wren tucks it under. He's going to get a first down. He's at the 40, at the 45, out of bounds around midfield. They're going to mark him out in Lander territory at the 49-yard line. So that is a 21-yard run.
He wanted to pass that so bad. He had the pump fake, and I feel like he only pump faked it because he saw that it was going to get knocked down. There were 2 defensive linemen for Lander going up and right in front of his grill. It was a great decision to take the ball, and Lander just didn't know where to stop him.
11:36 to go here in the first period of play from Douglas. They come up now. Same formation. Hughes in motion to the right. He doesn't get the snap, stops, turns upfield. Handoff goes to the second man through, and that's going to be a carry.
Oh, that's a fumble.
Fumble, and it's going to be recovered by Douglas's Brock Pyle. That's going to be down inside the 45-yard line, Shawn.
Props to Rope Glick. He just stuck his hand in there and stripped that ball right out of the running back's hands. Sad thing is, none of the Lander Tigers are ready to jump on it. And Brock Pyle actually gained an extra yard with the fumble recovery there. So it would only have been about a 5-yard gain, and instead it's about a 7-yard gain.
And that was Skeen on the carry. Picked up 7 yards. Second down now from the 43-yard line. Back to pass, and it's too long, too high, and for Luke Skeen to grab it, and the pass goes incomplete.
Yeah, he just had to reach out a little bit extra. And so far, quarterback Trey Wren has just not been on target so far. He was on target with that first pass, but it was a little low, which led to the drop. And next thing you know, now he's overthrown his running back on a flat route just right outside the line of scrimmage.
Big play here in the first quarter. Douglas comes up, hash mark near side. They've got 2 running backs on either side of the quarterback Wren. Hughes in motion. Back to pass is Wren, and he's going to try to run for it. He gets by one, gets by another, and he's fallen short. Nice defense that time by Gabe Harris. Pulls him down at the 29-yard or at the 41-yard line, and that'll be 4th down for Douglas and 2 yards to go.
Yeah, good eye by Gabe, but 55 for Lander. Caleb Hamilton, he just dove for him and he missed. 4th down and 1.
They're going for it, and Lander jumps offside. Well, I think the end on the far side over there, and that was Harris, jumped offside. And that'll give Douglas a first down.
Oh, no, they called that on Hamilton.
They called it on Hamilton, okay.
Either way, there was the left side of the line was just all loosey-goosey and jumped way early.
So the ball is moved down to the 36-yard line on the penalty, and it'll be first down for the Bearcats, something the Tigers didn't want to do. Trey Wren comes in with play from his head coach, Jay Rhodes.
The Lander bleachers are starting to fill up just little by little here. I've seen a lot of people jumping over that fence and sitting on Lander's side. So
yeah, they've got 2 gates over there, too, and we now have a double line of cars on the far side up the hill. Trey Wren under center. He stops. Looks like he's going to change the play.
They're going to want to hurry up if they don't want to delay a game.
He goes back under center. A tailback in the backfield, and the pitch goes to the tailback, and he goes around the left side, gets 5 yards, 6 yards, and that is Carson Ewing. So Ewing with the play goes from the 36-yard line all the way down to the 29-yard line. So that's a great play there of 9 yards, and the Tigers are going to take timeout. Timeout on the floor, on the field, and no score, 9:22 to go, first period. Back again in Douglas, the Tigers have taken a timeout after that Ewing run. Makes it second down and a yard to go at the Tigers' 26-yard line. They're actually at the 27. They need to get to the 26, Shawn, for the first down.
Yeah, they do, and I'm really interested to see what that original play call was at the line of scrimmage before they changed it. Coach Rhodes, he's been here for half my life, and he's seen all sorts of defenses. He knows he's going up against one of the best pass defense, the best pass defense in 3A, allowing just under 87 yards per game. So he's going to try and run at them first.
And there's the high snap. Wren breaks away from one. He's got some running room on the right side. He's at the 10, the 5, touchdown. Boy, he just did that jet sweep on the far side. No one was there for the Tigers. He ran untouched into the end zone.
Well, what stinks is the one person that was there to touch him was Matisse Weaver, and the right tackle for Douglas. I mean, I don't know if it was a hold per se, but he had him dead to rights there, and the right tackle just pulled Matisse away from the quarterback. And then you're right, no one was there in front of him. Easy 26-yard run right there.
And doing the kicking.
Should be Jackson, right?
Yeah, it's Jackson Hughes. Kick is up, and it is good. So with 9:14 to go, Douglas 7, Lander nothing.
Hometown Freedom Healthcare, making healthcare great. Providing coverage in family medicine, women's health, pediatrics, and mental health. Meet providers Tara Blumenshine, and Adina Vasco, and Jessica Rodriguez. Come see us at Hometown Freedom Healthcare, locally owned, 463-0541.
From the wide open spaces to the canyon near you, Wyoming.com is reaching more homes and businesses than ever before. Now it's getting even better. Wyoming.com, expanding to an area near you.
It's more than clocking in or collecting a paycheck. We are a network of caring professionals who want to be here, dedicated to serving our communities. We are Sage West Healthcare, our 2 campus hospitals in Riverton and Lander. We take pride in our region, our people, and our communities. Located in beautiful central Wyoming, filled with natural recreation in our own backyard. We are neighbors caring for neighbors, a community caring for its own. We are Sage West. We are recruiting the best, like you.
Jackson Hughes has the ball teed up at his own 40-yard line following that 10-play, 80-yard drive, and it was a 29-yard run by the quarterback, Trey Wren, that puts the Bearcats on the board first. So the Tigers will now have an opportunity to see if we can respond to that touchdown. There's the kick. It bounces on the ground, and it's going to go out of bounds. So the Tigers will get it at the 35 on the penalty. They didn't want
Gabe or Matisse
to get that ball. And, of course, they were kicking into the wind, which we see the flag here is still blowing pretty good from the west.
Yeah, and it's kind of at the back of Lander, so if Brennan Stauffenberg wants to air it out right now, he needs to be extremely precise with his passing. If he's going to try and throw a long ball like he typically tries to do at least once or twice during the game. He's just going to have to really take into account how strong this wind is and how much it might get under the ball.
Tigers will have the ball, first down, 10 yards to go from the near side hash mark here at Bearcat Stadium. Tigers break the huddle, come out. Stevenson to the near side. To the far side is J.C. Cordier. One man in the slot, one man in the backfield, along with Stauffenberg. There's the handoff. It goes to Matisse Weaver. Matisse cuts up and is knocked down by a shoelace at the 41-yard line. Nice gain.
Man,
6 yards.
That would have been a first down if that defensive lineman did not grab his shoelace right there. That was a expert run right through the hole. Very, very small opening, but he got through there. Very lucky on Douglas's account that the defensive lineman grabbed him by the shoe there.
Yeah, because there was no one else there except the safety. He would have had a big run. Second down, 4 yards to go for the Tigers. Ball at the 41-yard line. Everyone's in tight this time for the Tigers. There's the snap, rolling to his left side. Stauffenberg runs with it, only gets a yard or two.
Rough
Maybe
tackle.
not even that before he's knocked down. I think at the 40, well, as a matter of fact, he's going to lose some yardage.
Yeah, he tried to get around the edge there, and there was just no room to get there.
They're going to give him 1 yard to the 42, so that's the first gain of the game by Brennan Stauffenberg. Brings down a big third down play here, Shawn.
Yes, it does. And this is where they typically like to go little short passes. They had a lot of bubble screens last week against Worland. And, yes, they like to use those in scenarios like this.
7-0 Douglas, 7:50 to go first period. Under center is Stauffenberg now. Flag.
There would have been that screen.
Beaver, and too bad the play was blown dead. We have a false start on Lander as Beaver had some daylight there. But to be fair, Douglas stopped when they heard the whistle.
Yeah, and that's going to be one of those things that Lander really needs to work on, not just this game, but especially heading into the playoffs. Penalties have been their biggest problem pretty much all season. You could point at both of their losses, especially the one against Buffalo where they had the turnovers, but that early loss that they had, I mean, just penalties killed them. All their best drives would end with penalties stopping them instead of touchdowns. That's something they have to nip in the bud before they get into the playoffs.
So instead of third and short, it's now 3rd and 8. And the football at their own 37-yard line. In the gun now, Stauffenberg takes the snap, looks downfield, throws downfield to Beaver, and it's to Stevenson, way overthrown.
Again, that ball is going to have wind get underneath it, and if he's going to loft it up like that, he's going to want to make sure that his receiver is the only guy that can get it. And right there, even if Stevenson was running a 4.140, I don't think he would have gotten there on that time.
Yeah, it was way overthrown, and of course he's with the wind. So the Tigers, Matisse Weaver will come in for the punt, and the receiver is going to be Jackson Hughes, and he is back down at the 10-yard line. So let's see what the Douglas Bearcats do here on their second possession. Matisse will be punting from about the 30-yard line, straight up in the air. It's got a lot of height, and Jackson Hughes takes it at the 17-yard line. He breaks one tackle, breaks another tackle, and runs out of bounds in front of the Douglas bench. And the Tigers have got to do a better job on tackling. You can't try to just lunge at someone. You've got to grab them and hold them up.
Well, now Jackson Hughes, I mean, I think he's a little bit faster than Bodie Moffitt, but Moffitt, one-on-one, he just had to go left, and instead he went right, and he tried to grab him with one arm. I know, obviously, it's a little bit harder than what we might be making it up here in the press box, but he should have had that tackle, and that would have been 30 yards almost, give or take.
Yeah, it's a 20-yard.
They had him stepping out of bounds way earlier than I thought he did.
Yeah, they sure did. Line of scrimmage is the 38-yard line inside Douglas territory. Hughes in motion again. Handoff goes to Hughes on the right-hand side. He cuts the corner. He's across the midfield stripe into Lander territory and out of bounds about the 47-yard line. And they've been running that wide play to much success.
Yeah, I think one thing you could tell just by watching Lander tape, and we've called quite a few games. You've called all of them. I've called quite a few. Lander has a lot of trouble containing the outside edge. If you can get around their defensive ends, it's pretty much home open for anyone that can have the speed to get into the secondary. One thing that Lander might want to do is just play a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage because they're going to keep running at them. They know that they can't pass against this team that's number 1 in pass defense.
6:49 to go, first period. Douglas leading 7-0 on our WyoToday.com scoreboard. In the gun is Rim. He goes back, is almost tackled. He is sacked. He's sacked back at the 45-yard line of Douglas. A big loss on the play.
Good job, Matisse Weaver, not giving up on the play. He could have done kind of what Moffitt did there on the punt return and just kind of lunge at him with one arm, but instead he grabbed onto that jersey and he didn't let go.
They move it back to the 46-yard line. So that is 4 and 3. That's a 7-yard loss for the quarterback, Rin. Back in the gun now.
Now they're going to play spread offense to try and get him into a passing situation here.
Ewing to the right of Rin. Ewing goes back to pass. Caught by Hughes. Hughes inside Lander territory. Breaks one tackle. Goes all the way down to the 40-yard line.
That was a heck of a stiff arm by Hughes. He just had an easy slant right into the middle, right into the soft coverage right behind the linebackers. And the only person he really had to beat was the safeties that came down. And I couldn't catch eyes on who he stiff-armed, but just hands to the face, pushed him right to the ground.
A 13-yard completion from Rin to Hughes. And the Douglas Bearcats flags fly, and we have a false start on Douglas.
Yeah, almost all of their wide receivers ran early. I think they were expecting snap on the third hike, and I think everyone else on the line and the quarterback were expecting it on the fourth. So lucky break for Lander there.
Well, it makes it 3rd and long now. 3rd down, 9 yards to go. 5:26 to go, first period. Douglas with the lead 7-0. They're inside Lander territory at the 46-yard line. Rin brings them out. Wide receivers, twins set on both sides. One man in the backfield for the quarterback, Rin. He gets the snap, rolls to his right side, takes off running. He's got the first down and more. Boy, the Tigers have been caught 3 times, including the touchdown run on that play.
Yeah, like I said, it's just that outside edge. They can't seem to contain it. That's their biggest problem on defense. I think that's one of the reasons they're not ranked very high in rush defense. They're ranked below Douglas, too, which is going to be a big upswing for them when they try and get running the ball when they get on offense. But, yeah, they just cannot contain the outside very well. And typically if they contain one side well, they're really lacking on the other. So Coach Rhodes for Douglas is going to have his pick here almost every time on which side he wants to attack.
61 yards in rushing and 1 touchdown for the quarterback, Trey Rin. Football on the hash, far side of the field. Hughes in motion to the left. There's the snap. And the handoff goes on the near side. Carrying it is Ewing. Ewing's got a nice route down to the 10-yard line inside the 10 before the Tigers safety finally comes up and makes the defense.
Yeah, Beaver is the only player that was there to get him, and thank God he did. Otherwise, it'd be 14-0 or 13-0 right now, Douglas.
A 20-yard run by Ewing. He has 32 yards now on only 3 carries.
And that was a simple draw play. All of the safeties and the extra DBs for Lander were watching the wide receivers pretty steadfast there, and he just handed it off right up the middle, no one blocking him.
The Bearcats come in with a 6-1 record. The Tigers are 5-2. Lander needs to win this game by 7 to get the number 1 seed from the East Coast. Back to pass, off to his left side, into the end zone, touchdown to is that 10? That's 17. That's Brock Pyle.
And I'm not trying to dog on Moffitt, but Moffitt was the only one in that area. That was his route to cover, and there was no one within 5 yards of Brock Pyle for that touchdown. I'm sure Coach Scott is going to have some words for Moffitt after this series.
10-yard pass from Rin. The PAT is up and good by Hughes. And it's now 14-0, 4:23 to go in the first period of play. Douglas with the lead.
Touchstone Energy Cooperative. What does that mean for you as a Rural Electric Association member? It all comes down to 7 principles: open membership, one voice, one vote, member benefits, independence, education, cooperation, and community. To understand how it all works, we're headed back in time. In 1879, electricity was in major cities, but rural areas were out of luck. In 1935, President FDR made it possible for companies to build power lines to unserved areas. By the time we hit 1941, some 400 electric co-ops had been organized to serve rural America, just like High Plains Power. For more information, visit highplainspower.org.
And we're back. Ernie, I've got some scores. You ready for them?
All right, let's hear what you have.
So Riverton, who is in a win and you're in situation out in Worland, is up 7-0 with 2:42 left in the first. And earlier we talked about DuBois, the number 1 team on their side of the 6-man division. They took on the number 1 seed on the other side, Burlington, and they won 60-52. Those 6-man games, I've been to a couple of them. Those are always high scoring. It doesn't matter who's playing. But DuBois is looking really tough, and they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in 1A 6-man playoffs next week.
Yeah, if you get a stop in a 6-man game, you're ahead of the game.
Yes, you are. All you got to do is have one good block.
Okay, the Tigers have Gabe Harris back about the 10-yard line.
Let's see
Hughes will be kicking off for the Douglas Bearcats. He's back at the 28-yard line. Approaches the ball, and it's going to be a squib
onside kick
that they recover. Hughes
Wow.
recovers it after it goes 12 yards on the play, and the Tigers weren't ready for that, and it's going to be 1st and 10, Douglas.
Every single Lander Tiger had their head turned and was running backwards. The only person that wasn't was number 6, J.C. Cordier, and the ball was heading right to him. The only problem was the kicker was so fast, caught up to the ball before he could ever get to Cordier. That was an excellently executed onside kick, probably the first one I've seen all season.
Yeah, it went right down the middle, and of course Hughes was the man who kicked it, and he's the one who recovered it. So the Tigers give it up inside their own territory at the 48-yard line. Hughes has receivers split wide on each side, 2 men in the backfield. In the gun is Wren, fakes the handoff, passes down, it's caught, and it'll be a short gain. And over there picking up that catch is Ewing.
Yeah, only their second completion, but they're going to keep doing plays like that where they're little short stop routes where one running back or one wide receiver is going to act like he's going about 10 yards deep, and he's going to curl back in. Earlier, a little bit of a slant route, but still same principle. That's how they're going to get past this Lander defense and their number 1 ranked pass defense in the 3A.
Okay, it is now 2nd down, 7 yards to go, 3:50 to go in the first half of play, first period of play. It's 14-0 Douglas. Bearcats on a roll. Hughes in motion, doesn't take the ball, turns upfield, handoff goes to Ewing. He's caught at the line of scrimmage and brought down after a short gain.
That was Matisse again. He's just heavily in the backfield. He likes to live right there on that other side of the line of scrimmage. That's where he likes to make a lot of his big tackles, where he is known for being a big hitter.
So it's going to be a gain of 3 yards on the play down to the 43-yard line. Actually, it'll be a 4-yard run that time by Ewing.
This is going to be a big 3rd down, 3rd and 5.
3rd and 5.
Lander's been kind of embarrassed so far.
They got Lander offside last time. Here's the handoff to Hughes. He tries the right side. He breaks one tackle. He breaks another. He's got a 1st down, and a flag comes out. And Jackson Hughes goes out of bounds at the 32, but I think we've got a hold coming up here against Douglas.
I think we've got a hold too, but that does not diminish how great of a play that was by Jackson Hughes. He was caught in the backfield by 2 separate Lander Tigers, and he stiff-armed his way out of one and just ran away from the other one. That was pretty impressive, if I must say so myself.
Well, Jackson Hughes is indicating it's a defensive hold against Lander.
23 for... So Carson Ewing was also saying that when they threw the flag. He was kind of flabbergasted that they were pointing at him right away. Coach Rhodes is also concerned.
There's a big discussion.
You want the light on? Cool. We have the nicest little press box.
They are waving the penalty off, so the run for Jackson is going to go all the way down to the 33-yard line. It'll be a 10-yard run and a first down for the Bearcats.
That was quite a long discussion just to pick up the flag. I wonder if there was one hold on one player and another hold on another player. If so, that'd be offsetting penalties, but instead they just pick it up. It's a huge blow to Lander.
First down, 10 yards to go. This is the third play after the onside kick. In the gun is Wren. Jackson split wide out. Jackson Hughes split wide out. The ball's going to go to him. There's the pass. It's down. It's caught at the 10-yard line. First and 10, Douglas.
Man, Beaver just stood there and watched him jump up. He could have ran toward him a little bit more, or at least tried to protect it a little better in coverage. But Beaver, he turned around, and the wide receiver was already up in the air catching the ball. He's got to do a better job of keeping his head on a swivel.
46 yards in receiving already by Jackson Hughes, the former Lander boy who moved over here with his parents to Douglas. There's the snap. Wren caught in the backfield. He gets away. He gets back to the line of scrimmage and maybe another yard or two before Lander's defense catches up with him.
Man, that's the second time he's stiff-armed Matisse Weaver just right in the face. And, you know, you'd think Matisse, he's a big upper body. I mean, we've talked to him quite a bit, and I covered him in track. He's speedy and strong. You wouldn't think that a quarterback is giving him so many fits right now with just one arm.
Minute 49 to go, first period. The Douglas Bearcats up by 2 touchdowns, 14-0. In the gun, there's the handoff to Ewing. Not much there. He gets maybe a yard or two as he tries to go off right guard.
And there's just got to be one play for this Lander defense that actually gets them the ball back and gives them some momentum. Because if the Bearcats leave this first quarter up 14-0, 21-0, it could get ugly very, very quickly.
1 yard gain on the play. So it is now another big third down. It's at the 7-yard line. 3rd and goal for the Bearcats. And, of course, this is 4-down territory for them.
Definitely.
Yeah.
They know what's on the line today as well.
Okay, in the gun is Wren. Oh, and offside. This time Jackson Hughes took off like 3 yards before everybody else. That'll move him back to the 12-yard line on the penalty.
And that gives Lander defense a little bit more room to breathe. But what it also does is it gives them a lot more open field to find Bearcats in the open. I wouldn't be surprised if they try one of those inside slant routes or maybe a curl route, which is what they look like they were about to do with Jackson if he didn't run off so early.
You know, we haven't mentioned it yet, Shawn, but the official here tonight does have a microphone, so it's a lot easier to pick out what the call is because we can hear it.
We don't have to guess anymore. That's been my least favorite part about this season.
Clock moving, 50 seconds to go, first period, 14-0 Douglas. Wren back in the gun, moves to his left. He's rolling, looking in the end zone, and he fires into the end zone, and it is caught. And, boy, was that a miracle catch. Was that 12? That was Jackson Hughes. He's got it down at the 1-yard line.
He threw it in between 3 or 4 white jerseys on a on his back foot. That was an excellent catch. I don't know about the throw if I would be advocating for that if I was Coach Rhodes. But, hey, man, if you trust your wide receiver, which he obviously does, you can throw it into triple coverage.
4th and goal from the 2-yard line. Jackson knocking on the door. They already lead by 2 touchdowns. They're in the I formation. Wren is under center. Long
Big play.
count. And there's the end of the period. So at the end of the first period of play, it's Douglas 14, Lander 0. Back after this.
Natural Health Solutions offers treatments for a variety of conditions, along with nutritional counseling, chiropractic, acupuncture, and more. Treatment plans designed individually to optimize your health. Call for an appointment, 856-8181 today. The staff and board at the Fremont County Fair wish to thank everyone who attended the fair this year. Whether you enjoyed Family Day, a night event, entered a craft show, or showed your livestock, thank you for all your efforts. We'll be moving and grooving next year, so stay tuned.
If your vehicle needs repair, you can depend on the crew at Extra Care Auto Repair. They can repair almost anything with wheels, gas, diesel, domestic, or import, and their work is top quality and reliable. Extra Care Auto Repair on North Federal in Riverton.
And we got the lights back on. We are back on 93.1 KFCW and WYO Today's YouTube stream. Douglas, huge opportunity here. 4th and 2 on the 2-yard line. And like I just said, the sun has gone down and the lights are up. And we've already talked about it. This is a gorgeous facility. I would not mind playing football here every week if I was a high schooler.
And, of course, the Douglas Bearcats have this opportunity because of a successful onside kick. You don't expect an onside kick in the first quarter, but
or when you're up 14-0.
Yeah, Jay Rhodes pulled it off, and the Bearcats are 2 yards away from pay dirt. Hash mark, far side. And they're coming up to the huddle right now. And the quarterback, Trey Wren.
Just from our previous games, I imagine Coach Scott and defensive coordinator Coach Rounds is probably going to try a blitz here.
Okay, there's the snap. Pitch goes on the far side to Ewing, untouched into the end zone.
They blitzed up the middle, but it did not work as they obviously went around the outside. And that outside edge has scored them 20 points. It's very easy so far for Douglas to find their way around the defensive line. All they have to do is get out past the edges, and that's all. It's just pay dirt every single time.
Well, they scored 4 seconds into the second period. Here's the kick by Hughes. It's up long enough, high enough, and it is good. And so we now go to 21-0 Douglas.
WYO Glass wants to wish all the Lander Valley Tiger teams good luck this year. WYO Glass is locally owned and operated in Lander. They bleed green. Call or stop in today to get a quote on a window or get a quick fix on your window for a rock chip. WYO Glass is Lander.
In any sport, athletes face the chance of sustaining an injury. According to the Athletic Training Association, 90% of student athletes reported some sort of sports-related injury. What's more, is 54% report playing while injured. For various reasons, sports-related injuries are increasingly leaving our youth at risk of exposure to opioid-based pain medication. Fremont WhenTheGameSlowsDown.com is here to help navigate monitoring medication, social support, and suggestions on what to do when the game slows down. Brought to you by Fremont County Prevention Program.
Well, on this very windy and chilly night, it was 72 degrees when the game started, Shawn, but I imagine it's cooled down a bit when the sun went down. And Lander has given up 3 touchdowns right to start the game, and they are behind 21-0. And they're playing for first place in the league. And,
yes, they are.
This is not the kind of game we expected.
They are acting like a team that's playing for first place, whereas Lander right now, they don't know what's right from left. And you can see right now their kickoff routine is going to be vastly different starting right now because that onside kick, they're not going to kick it down. They've already squibbed it all 3 times. One of them just was a much shorter squib.
And this one, the kick, it's a line drive. It goes into the end zone and out, and Lander will have it at the 20-yard line.
So Lander right now, they just need to take a breath. It's obviously still the second quarter, down 21-0. If Brennan can find a way to get some passing yardage quickly and maybe strike a little fear into the secondary, they might be able to get a good run game going with Gabe and Matisse. They just need to get something started. That first offensive series, they had a few little sparks, but nothing was really going to get going. They need something that looks like their game maybe against Rollins where they were able to do what they wanted through the air because of what they do on the run.
Lander only has 7 yards of total offense at this point in the second quarter. Stauffenberg back to pass. Under pressure, he's sacked. Back at the 5-yard line, he was trying to get the ball away, but the pressure got to him. Brought there, Micah Turk was there for the Douglas Bearcats. It's a loss all the way back to they're going to mark it at the 11-yard line.
Yeah, Turk for Douglas. He just put up a battle against Hamilton. Hamilton was thrown to the ground. I mean, it was high-velocity pancake right there. The opposite of a pancake, if you'd say, because the offensive lineman just went down. And now look at this. They're gonna have 4 wide receivers. Oh, they're going to bring Matisse back to the backfield here.
All right, trips on the right side.
False
There's
start.
the pass over, and we have a false start. Goes to Beaver, and the play's blown dead, and Lander's going to go back again.
And I believe that was a false start on Matisse. He never really got his legs settled in the backfield and started running.
Yep, so they're going to go half the distance to the goal, and they're going to put the ball down at the 5-yard line. So it is actually, yeah, it's at the 5. That's a 6-yard penalty, by the way.
And we mentioned it earlier, penalties are just the death of this team. Whenever they're doing good, penalties stop them. Whenever they're doing bad, penalties accumulate. They need to get out of that mindset right now.
Second down, 24 yards to go for the Tigers. Stauffenberg is in the end zone. There's the pitch, comes on the near side, couple of yards on the pitch, and that is Gabe Harris. No, that was Matisse Weaver. Matisse picks up a few yards. They're going to give him to the 8-yard line. That's a gain of 3, and that is the second positive gain that Matisse has in the game. Tigers are huddling in the end zone. 10:26 to go, first period, 21-0 Douglas on our WyoToday.com scoreboard.
3rd and 23 from your own 7 is not what you want. I don't know what play they're going to call here, but I don't think that they're planning on getting 23 whole yards right here.
One man in the slot, receivers on each side. Stauffenberg rolls to his right. Play action pass is incomplete. He overthrew Gabe Harris. So it's going to be 4th down and a chunk of yardage, a quarter of the field. They need to get to the line to gain.
Yeah.
10:03 to go, and Douglas will be in great field position once again.
What really stinks is Gabe was pretty open. He had a good step or two on his DB that was behind him. The only problem is on the run. Brendan Stauffenberg loves to throw on the run. That's one thing that he's excelled at for most of the season. But right there, you wouldn't know it if you had just watched that play.
Weaver from the back of the end zone will be punting into the wind here at Douglas.
They're going to try and block this ball.
Oh, of course they will. You bet. Let's see what happens. There's the snap, the kick. They don't get to it. It's a high kick, and it is caught by Jackson Hughes at the 35-yard line. Excellent field position for Douglas.
Yeah, they're going to start on the 35, and so far they've been able to go a lot more than that. How long has their plays, has their series been? 80 yards, 42 yards, and 47 yards. So this is not only their best field position, but this looks like easy pickings if you're to just look at the first quarter.
Okay, the Wildcats, or the Bearcats, who've been playing wild here today, come out. 1st down and 10. Trey Wren in the gun. One running back next to him on the right shoulder. Long pass downfield to Hughes, in and out of his arms, incomplete. And Beaver was on the defense that time.
And Beaver playing much, much closer to his assignment there, which is going to be tough for him because I'm pretty positive Jackson Hughes, he's 4.5 inches taller than Joel Beaver. I don't know if I would put Beaver on him. I know he's got the speed, but he's already been shoved down and picked on by this offense. I don't know how much I'd be putting him on the best wide receiver right now that Douglas has.
Well, that was just a hand grab away from another touchdown. 2nd down, 10 yards to go. Hash mark on the near side. Same formation, twins on each side. Here's the carry. It goes to Ewing. Ewing finds a hole up the middle, down inside the 25-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Douglas Bearcats. Great run by Ewing.
Great run by Ewing, but that would not have been possible if number 79, Tegan Seeds, for Douglas, the biggest player on their team, if he had not blocked so well, he just manhandled 2 Lander Tigers at the line of scrimmage and opened up a huge hole.
His parents are sitting right below us here in the press area at Douglas High School. Beautiful facility. And those lights we just mentioned here a moment ago, Shawn, are shining down on the field. They're not shining outward like most high school football field lights do. Nice dark sky program here. In the gun is Wren. Hand off to Ewing. He finds a hole. Breaks one tackle. Breaks another. He's inside the 15. Down to the 12-yard line. 1st and 10. Douglas, boy, he just had great protection. They opened the hole for him. 9.5 minutes to go. First period, 21-0. on KFCW and YO Today YouTube.
That hole,
Douglas.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. That hole was open on the left because Lander was blitzing everyone to the right. They had 3 different defensive backs coming up, and they would have flooded that right side of the line. Douglas, I don't know if they saw it or if that was the plan, but he ran to the left. He had all sorts of room.
Same formation now for the Bearcats. Man in motion is Hughes. He gets the call on the right-hand side, cuts the corner at the 10. There's a flag down. He scoots into the end zone, but let's see what the penalty is.
I do think it's kind of cool they got all the fire trucks and ambulances outside of the stadium. As I'm putting it on Wild Today, every time they score or have a big play, you see a bunch of red and blue lights.
Right.
Just
and
like their jerseys.
This one's coming back. It's going to be a penalty against the Bearcats. So the touchdown is wiped off, and they're making a 10-yard mark-off down to the 22-yard line. So it's a penalty back to the 22.
That is probably the first bit of good luck that Landers had in quite a while. They don't need to rely on just luck if they want to try and come back in this game, but something's got to happen on these outside edges. I don't know if you want to play your defensive edge or your defensive lineman just a little bit wider, or maybe you drop a DB from coverage and get him closer to the line, but
wait a minute,
something's got to happen.
Football. They moved the football to the 17-yard line.
Maybe they had a wrong call or a wrong
well, it's at the 17
calculation
on the hash mark far side. Now there's going to be an official's discussion about where to mark the ball. If it was a holding and it goes from the point of the foul, that would have been at about the 14-yard line. But no, they're not going to change it. So the clock is moving, 8.5 minutes to go. 21-0. It's first down, 15 for the Bearcats. They're in Lander territory. Back to passes ran. There's a long pass.
Nice breakup.
That was a wonderful breakup that time. That was Stevenson who did that. Evan just stretched out and knocked the ball down. And Ruin now.
Oh, no, I think that was Stauffenberg. Stauffenberg was the one,
10?
yeah, because Stevenson doesn't really play out on the first string. But, yeah, 10. Brendan Stauffenberg had a great pass block right there, right before it entered the hands of the wide receiver.
Okay, so it's second down and 15. Back to pass again is Wren. Down, and it's too long. Intended that time for Alex Dennis, out of bounds.
And that was on Stevenson. But, yeah, no, Brendan Stauffenberg, that last play, that saved a touchdown right there. It'd be easily 27-0. There was no one else around him. And now, 3rd and 15, if Lander can just buckle down and play good coverage right here, if they can even get the ball back after maybe a field goal, that would be a success based off of the first quarter, first half of this game so far.
And Lander has been a second-half team.
Definitely.
So the Tigers need to stiffen up right here. 8:20 to go. They trail 21-0. 3rd, 15.
They're going to blitz the left side.
17. Back to passes ran into the end zone. Too long and out of bounds, intended for Hughes.
Great pressure from the left side. I saw 77 Tristan Osborne, who we talked to last week, as well as Matisse Weaver, just come right off the left side of the line and right through everyone, and they pressured the quarterback.
And that's the 4th consecutive incomplete pass that Trey Wren has thrown. And it is now 4th down, and let's see what the Bearcats are going to do.
And a key word that comes up right now is momentum. Lander has had a lot of games where momentum shifts have caused them the game. Especially that game against Buffalo, almost the game against Riverton as well. When they lost momentum, they almost didn't get it back, and right now they need it.
Hughes at the 25-yard line to attempt a 35-yard field goal. The kick is up, it's high enough, and it's good. So Hughes gets it, the field goal, and it now goes 24-0 to Douglas.
Gatti Rehabilitation And Wellness knows what it means to be on top of your game. For over 60 years, Gotchi has led the field in providing physical therapy, occupational therapy, and wellness in Thermopolis and their facilities in Worland, Basin, Powell, Cody, and Shoshone. Whether you're recovering from an injury, deconditioned, post-stroke, or just looking to take control of your health, you'll find years of dedicated experience paired with personal care at Gotchi Rehabilitation and Wellness. Learn more at gotchi.org.
Well, we now have 8 minutes, 10 seconds to go until halftime with that successful 35-yard field goal. It's now Douglas 24 and Lander nothing. And, Shawn, this is going to be a real critical drive for Lander. They need to take some of that momentum away from Douglas and get something on the scoreboard here.
Scoreboard, yeah. They need to get, obviously, on the scoreboard. But one thing I would really do is I try and waste some clock here. You do not want to give it back to Douglas and let them finish the quarter. It's still technically a 3-possession game. If you want to go for 2 all 3 times, and I don't know if they really want to do that. They're confident. They've already scored one big one against Riverton, but they just really need to focus right now on the clock management and being able to get down the field.
And it's a long kick in and out of the end zone. Lander will have it at the 20-yard line. So no shenanigans this time. No. 8 minutes, 10 seconds to go until halftime, 24-0. The Douglas Bearcats with the lead over your Lander Tigers.
Yeah, and Douglas, like I said earlier, just leading Lander Valley in everything offense. But where Lander Valley really has a good time is when they're able to let the ball go through the air with very limited what's the word I'm looking for? They like to pass through the air on long plays. They don't like short chunk plays. But if they can get some short chunk plays going, that opens up the long ball a lot.
Okay, here's the Stauffenberg falls down as he throws the ball. I wonder if he got stepped on by the guard that time. He went straight back and fell right back down. The pass is incomplete.
Yeah, I almost think the running back maybe tripped him up when he faked the handoff there. But that was very strange.
Well, to give you a statistical count of how this game is going, Lander has 1 yard total offense, and Douglas has 163 yards. It's been all Douglas since the opening kickoff. Tigers come out now, second down, 10 yards to go. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. 1 man in the backfield. Ball's on the ground. Here's a pitch and carry by Matisse Weaver. And Matisse gets it up across the 25 to about the 27-yard line. So that'll be a nice carry of 7 yards on the play by Weaver.
And just from a couple of the films that I've watched so far this week of Douglas, one area that the Lander Tigers should actually try and exploit if they're going to not go through the air, the middle of their line might be the weakest part of their defense. They cover the edges extremely well, unlike Lander on defense. And you saw right there, Matisse was able to get open in the middle, pretty easy to get that extra couple yardage when you're getting past that middle of the line there.
Lander's longest play of the game was 7 yards so far. Tigers come in, everyone up tight. Handoff goes to Weaver. That's Gabe Harris. First down across the 35 to about the 38-yard line. And, that's Gabe Harris with the carry. First down, Tigers.
Yeah, and that tight package that they brought in was a good fake out. They thought maybe they would run up the middle or a QB sneak to get those extra 2 or 3 yards. But now look at them going hurry up offense.
Hurry up, and everyone is in tight. There's the handoff to Weaver. Weaver pushes his way across the 40 up to about the 43-yard line. We're going to give him the 42. Let's see where they put the ball down. It's at the 42, so that's a 4-yard gain by Weaver.
And they're doing hurry up again. They like this defense that they're looking at.
The handoff goes on the near side to Gabe Harris, and he stopped right at the 44-yard line. Nice gain on the play, and it'll be, let's see, where do they move him up to? They move him up to the 46-yard line.
Lander did this a lot against Riverton. They like the defensive setup right now of Douglas, so they're going to, they got him on the false start there.
Yep.
Or on the offsides, I'm sorry.
On the offside, yeah. That's a great time by Brennan Stauffenberg to pull that. Wren did that to the Tigers on the first drive of the game. Now the officials are discussing it offside against Douglas.
Yeah, but as I was saying, they like the defensive look that they're getting with the personnel of Douglas right now, and they're going to tire him out by keep going hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, not allowing them to change out any players. And right now they like what they're seeing on the run defensive side. They're going to keep doing this with the same tight formation.
Tigers for the first time in Douglas territory. Everyone in tight. Pitch over to Harris. Harris has a little bit of running room. He's down inside the 45, down to about the 42.
And you can see why they like this. I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily the DBs or the defensive line, but there's something about the edge of this defensive look by Douglas that Lander likes, and they're exploiting it right now.
5:48 to go, first half, 24-0 Douglas. Same formation for the Tigers. Off to Matisse Weaver. Matisse straight ahead to the 40, and he stopped right there.
And that's
gain of 2.
That's the only problem with going hurry up so much is not only is the defensive guys getting tired, your offensive line is also getting tired. They're getting gassed right now.
Third down, 1 yard to go for the Tigers. Excuse me. And quarterback Brendan Stauffenberg jogs over to the sideline to chat with head coach Scott. And now he comes running back into the huddle. 5:10 to go here until halftime. Looking at the back judge to see when he starts that 5-second motion, and he does right now. And there's the handoff. Goes to the second man through Harris. He's got the first down and more all the way down to the 32-yard line.
And this is perfectly executed from what I was saying earlier. They want to watch the clock. They don't want to give Douglas a lot of time to come back and score. They've already wasted about 3.5 minutes, and they've gained quite a bit of yardage right now.
Yeah, they started at the 20, and they're already at the Douglas 32. There's Matisse Weaver straight ahead off the right side, and he goes inside the 30 down to about the 29-yard line. Gain of about 3 on the play for Matisse.
And partner, just based on what I'm looking at right now, it looks like it's getting a little cold, and that wind is bringing the cold up here, but we're in a nice warm little press box.
Yeah, that is nice. Much nicer than sitting outside in the bleachers, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry, Jim.
Yeah, my brother is out there in the bleachers. Okay, here comes Stauffenberg with 4:16 to go. Clock moving. First half, 24-0 Douglas. Full look in the backfield. Matisse Weaver is caught in the backfield. He'll be dropped for a loss of about 2 yards.
And now you gotta wonder, it's 3rd and 9. Are you going to keep going with this run to the outside look that you've been getting some good yardage here with, or are you going to try and turn it up and maybe exploit their passing defense that is not ranked as high as yours?
Well, Tigers taking some time now in the huddle. Clock moving at 3:43. And they come out in a spread formation.
Yep, Coach Rhodes saw that they were not going to do the same formation, and they called a timeout.
Yeah, Douglas calls timeout. We'll be back right after this.
Riverton's Hampton Inn & Suites is proud to sponsor our youth athletics in Fremont County. Fremont County school athletics provide our youth timeless experiences and lessons that can lead to success for life. Setting goals, teamwork, and hard work make young athletes into good citizens.
A proud sponsor of this broadcast is Bailey Enterprises. For over 50 years, Bailey has become the name you can trust. With Pit Stop Travel Centers, you can fuel up and stock up on trip snacks at locations all over Fremont County. You can also put your trust in Bailey Tire and Auto for service to keep handy for those times when your luck runs out on the road. Refresh at the Speedway Cafe with a dine-in meal or a round of carry-out with a variety of specials to keep you going. Go with Bailey.
3:38 to go until halftime, 24-0 Douglas. Lander has got the ball, 3rd down now, and they need about 9 yards to go.
They're heading directly into the wind, too.
Right. They've got wide receivers split on each end, 1 man in the slot. Stauffenberg in the gun, 2 receivers back to pass, throws. He's got a man downfield, first down at the 16-yard line. And let's see, who is that?
That was Stevenson.
That was Stevenson, number 2.
Definitely one of his favorite targets over the last few weeks. And like I said at the pregame, if Pasquinelli's out, this is going to leave a lot of room open for Evan Stevenson to show his skills. And he's a senior. He's been working really hard at getting to where he's at right now.
16-yard gain on the play for the Tigers. First down at 10 to go at the 12-yard line. 3:15 and counting. They're back in that full house look, and the quick handoff gets nowhere. maybe a yard
Oh,
on the play.
no.
They have a Douglas player with the football who's running the other way down at the 42, and Douglas has a takeaway. I thought that play was dead. Was it a snap mistake by the Tigers?
No, it looks like he handed it off to the right running back, which was basically in the fullback position up tight, and he ran right into a pile of blue, which I imagine they either stripped it or just hit him hard and knocked onto the ground, but that just kills all that momentum we were just talking about for Lander. Lander went almost 80 yards down the field, and now they have to get back on defense after they just gassed themselves with all those running plays in a row.
Well, the officials are having a discussion, and Douglas has moved all the way back to the 20, but it's going to be 1st and 10 Douglas at the 42-yard line. Oh, what a revolting turnover for the Lander Tigers. Fumble, and the fumble is returned from the 13 to the 42, 29-yard fumble return with 3 minutes to go here in the first half.
And I think it was Coach Scott that said it a couple weeks ago after a game that they won, but he still said that penalties and turnovers are the biggest problem for this team because they just get in their own way. They can beat any team they get on the field with, but they get in their own way, so they have to beat 2 teams.
Full house look in the backfield. Hughes in motion. Handoff goes to Ewing. He powers his way to the 45, a gain about 3 yards on the play. And the Tigers stop him there. So
just under 3 minutes to go. You don't want to give Douglas, you never wanted to give the Douglas the ball back, but now you give them it back with just under 3 minutes, and they have quite a few. How many timeouts they have left here? Yeah, they have 2 timeouts left. So I just wonder if Lander's going to be able to really stop them here after they've been so tired after that offensive series.
Hughes split out wide to the left. Pryor on the near side, back to pass. The pass is caught by Pyle, and he's got yardage just shy of the yard to gain at the 50-yard line. It'll be a 5-yard pickup.
Boy, dual hit there by Gabe Harris and 56 Jesse Dollard. I mean, Gabe stopped him, and then Dollard came up and gave him a good old hit on the top there.
Right at the 50-yard line, clock moving with 1:58 to go. First half of play, Douglas leading 24-0 after that Lander turnover.
3rd and 2. If you can stop him here, I don't know if it's 4-down territory, but be a huge stop.
Here's the handoff. It goes to Ewing. Ewing's got the first down to the 47-yard line of Lander.
Just whiff tackles. I know it's not going to be in the stat book, but missed tackles is the reason that is a 2-yard gain. A 3-yard gain and not a 2-yard loss.
First down, 10 to go inside Lander territory. Ball at the 47-yard line, 1:28 to go in the first half of play. Quarterback, Grin, is back in the shotgun, rolls to his right side. Play action, though he's going to tuck it and run. He runs out of bounds after a short gain on the near side, about the 43-yard line. So that's going to be a carry of 4 yards on the play by Wren. He now has 67 yards on 7 carries.
I would imagine he has almost as many yards as the entire Lander team.
Oh, he has more. Lander has 51. 51 minus 8 is
42.
42 yards. So
No, 43, sorry.
43, yeah. Okay, here we go.
We're both bad at math.
Second down. 6 yards to go. Wren in the gun. Looks, throws over. Caught by Hughes. Hughes breaks one tackle, but not the second one. He's down at the 40. It'll only be a 3-yard gain by Jackson Hughes.
Flag on the play, and before they say that flag, Lander has been doing a great job of getting into the backfield on their blitzes. The problem is they're blitzing on the plays. The quarterback, Wren, is doing a great job of getting the ball out or getting the play changed to where they're not blitzing from. But Lander is just going full heavy on the blitz almost every other play right now.
I think we have a false start. Let's hear what the call is. Oh, it's a block in the back.
Yeah, that screen pass did have
a big penalty.
Yeah, that screen pass did have quite a few blue jerseys out there, and I think I saw 1 or 2 white jerseys just fall in an awkward way. So that's not surprising, but Huge break for Lander. Again, if they can just get a stop, it's 2nd and 16 with just over a minute left. If they can conserve some timeouts here, see what happens.
2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Hughes now in motion. And back to pass. No, it's Hughes.
Oh.
Hughes, long pass downfield, all alone and incomplete. The Tigers
there's a flag.
dodged one there. Brock Pyle was the intended receiver, and another flag on the play. Hughes was the quarterback for Douglas last year, and he was replaced by Trey Wren this year. And he can throw the ball. That ball went about 45 yards in the air.
Definitely. For a flea flicker, I thought that was going to be pay dirt there. Just a little overthrown. I think this call is going to be against Rope Glick. I saw him pleading with the referee.
Nope, ineligible receiver downfield.
Okay, so one of their offensive linemen went a little bit too far downfield.
And they're going to take the penalty or decline it, make it 3rd and 20, 3rd and 16.
Yeah, 3rd and 16 or 2nd and...
Coach Scott just said they're going to decline the penalty.
Which is smart in its own way. Either way would have been a smart decision.
Yep.
3rd and 16 or 2nd and 26 would have been would have been the call there. And
3rd and 16 now. The Tigers took the down with just 46 seconds to go. The clock is running. Whistle and an official's timeout. Did the clock stop?
They're going to up the clock. I guess they mismanaged the clock time. So let's see what they put it on. It's 42.9 now.
Yeah, I think they forgot to, or they started the clock on and they asked them to add some time.
If there's one bad thing about this stadium is that you and I can't see the scoreboard without sticking our head out the window. Okay. So yeah, 46 seconds now.
46 seconds to go.
Big play here, 3rd and 16.
Hughes in motion to the right. Back to pass. Ewing gets the handoff. He's got a blocker. He's got open running. He's at the 40, 35, 30, 20. One man to beat. Knocks him down at the 15-yard line. 1st and 10, Douglas.
Everything that could go wrong for Lander went wrong for Lander there. They had all their pressure on the right side of the ball, on the right side of the line, and next thing you know, Ewing comes out of the backfield heading left, and there's just one too many blockers for Douglas. And Lander was lucky that didn't enter the end zone there.
And Ewing now has 115 yards on the ground. And did Lander call a timeout? It's 36 seconds to go. We'll be back after this.
Visit Lander Gambles to make your home feel like new. They will beat any competitor's price. Stop by to speak to one of the sales agents or visit LanderGambles.com. Lander Gambles will help you find the perfect product that fits your budget and lifestyle. Lander Gambles, 420 Main Street, Lander, Wyoming.
Community Health Centers of Central Wyoming has locations across Fremont County ready to serve you at Du Bois Medical Clinic, Riverton Community Health, and Lander Community Health Pediatrics. We accept all forms of insurance, including Medicaid and Medicare. Are you struggling to get medical care? Ask for their sliding fee scale. From family medicine to pediatrics, Community Health Centers are here to serve you. Call 307-463-7160 or visit chccw.org to schedule your appointment. Wyoming Community Bank is ready to serve you. Stop in at any one of their branches located in Riverton, Lander, and Du Bois. A bank that is owned and operated by the locals of Fremont County. Wyoming Community Bank. They're here to help you.
Well, Douglas coming up to the line of scrimmage at the Tiger 12. They've got first down, 10 yards to go after that 38-yard scamper by Ewing, who now has over 100 yards in the game. In the gun is Wren. Handoff again to Ewing. Ewing finds a hole. He's down inside the 5. Touchdown. 15-yard run. And it goes 30-0.
Man, after the game that he had last week, I was wondering if Tristan Osborne was going to be as dominant as he was against Warland, and he just got beat right there. The running back juked him out of his shoes. He was the only guy that could have stopped him in the backfield. Once he got past Osborne, he just had to hit the secondary, and the secondary was waiting at the line at the end zone line.
Here's the extra point, and it is good. So it's a 15-yard run by Ewing, and it's now 31-0. Back after this.
Your car or truck is an investment. When it needs repairs, you need someone you can trust to do the job right. Take it to Gunner's Automotive. They repair all makes and models of cars and trucks, from oil changes to brakes, tires, and more. Gunner's Automotive, 856-2288.
Jay Collins here, and I want to wish all the Fremont County athletes good luck this year. Stop down at Fremont Chevy to talk sports and let me help you purchase your next vehicle. Jay Collins, your local sales professional at Fremont Chevy Buick GMC, 307-349-7846.
And it is now a 31-0 game. Douglas is on top. The Douglas drive after the turnover, and they started in Lander territory. It was 8 plays, 42 yards, and it's now 31-0. And Jackson Hughes also has a 35-yard field goal. He's about to kick it off now for the Tigers, and he does. High end over ender out of the end zone. Lander will take over with 30 seconds to go at their own 20-yard line.
And Ernie, you've been watching this team longer than I have. You know I just moved here in March, and you've been covering them all season and all last season, and you've been here longer than me. I don't think I've ever seen Lander look like this in the first half, let alone be down 31-0 at halftime.
Well, they lost last year's game only by 3 touchdowns, and they're already down 4 touchdowns and a field goal in this game. Douglas plays really, really well, and Lander has not played very well. The Tigers only have 43 yards of rushing offense as opposed to almost 200 for Douglas. There's a long pass downfield, too long for Stevenson, too high, out of bounds, incomplete pass.
Man, he had Matisse streaking down the middle. He had already beaten his coverage. If he had taken an extra second to look downfield, he might have had Matisse on a much longer ball there.
Only 1 pass completion by Stauffenberg tonight. He's 1 of 6 for 16 yards.
And, you put Beaver out on the very far side and Stevenson, and now we're going to get a timeout, I believe.
Yeah, let's see what the call is going to be.
We're getting a little foggy out here, it looks.
They're moving the football to the middle of the field. Okay, so the Tigers will have it right smack dab in the middle of the field at the 20-yard line, 2nd down and 10. Here's the pass by Stauffenberg. Intercepted, and a touchdown, Brock Pyle.
Oh, no, he didn't get there.
He fell down, and a flag comes in.
Yeah,
I thought he was going to go in.
Well, there wasn't anyone in Lander's backfield there that was going to stop him. It ended up being Stevenson and Brennan. That was just a very off pass by Stauffenberg because Beaver hadn't even turned into his route yet, and he was going to run into double coverage no matter what. Stauffenberg led him way too much, and Beaver, again, one of the shortest people on the field. You can't throw it very high to Beaver, especially in double coverage. And
it's down.
And I think it's a
football down. It's down at the 8-yard line, I think.
I believe that was a face mask on Lander pulling down the defensive player.
Half the distance to the goal is at Douglas. Well, we've got 19 seconds to go in the first half. It's going to be 1st and goal Douglas with 19 seconds to go now. Lander calls timeout. We'll be back after this.
My name is Sarah Lowe, and I have been in law enforcement in Fremont County for 13 years. I didn't know much about therapy in general until I got injured in October of 20 chasing a cow. So I had to get shoulder surgery. And after my surgery with Fremont Orthopedics, I went to Fremont Therapy. And they were really excited to see you. So it was a really warm, welcoming experience. We tried all sorts of different methods to increase and make sure I had the best mobility for my job. Rachel's a firecracker. She's just a little spitfire. It was fantastic, a great environment to go and have your therapy.
Are you a caring person that wants to help but not sure where to go? Wyoming Senior Citizen Inc. is looking for caregivers across the state. Call 307-856-6880 to find out more information. They would like to wish all Fremont County athletes good luck this year.
Back when I was riding in rodeos.
Okay, back again. We have 19 seconds to go. The ball is at the 4-yard line. 1st and goal for Douglas after that pass interception by Brock Pyle. They come in. Everyone is in tight. There's the rollout by Wren. Throws in the end zone. Incomplete. And that took 4 seconds.
Lander has been very lucky with the drops by Douglas. Obviously, they're down 31-0, but could be a lot worse, not only off that drop, but the 2 or 3 drops that he had very early in the beginning of the game. It is very lucky for Lander that they keep dropping these balls.
Wren's put the ball up in the air 13 times, and he has 6 receptions, so he's 6 of 13. 2nd and goal from the 4-yard line. Handoff on the near side, touchdown. And it's Ewing. Ewing for 4 yards on the touchdown.
Lander does not look like themselves tonight, and you can see it in their body language. You can see it in the way that they're playing, just slow, heavy, gassed. I would not want to be in the halftime huddle when John Scott is yelling at me right now, because there is not a lot that they can do to immediately come back. You can't get all these points back at once, but you got to have a game plan coming out of halftime to get 38 points back.
And the extra point is good. Ewing on the 4-yard run, and the score now goes Douglas 38, Lander 0.
Locked in, good and tight. Now as a touring musician, crisscrossing the country, I still make sure I'm locked in, good and tight. Of course I do.
Hauling ass, heading south, down the road in a Crow Cadillac, coupe to fill.
Buckle up for life, Wyoming.
The choice is yours. Sutherland's Friends of the Family Plus Consumer Credit Card lets you choose from 5% off instantly at the register or special financing on qualifying purchases. That means no forms, no waiting, no rebates. You can choose 5% off instantly with your Sutherland's credit card. Got a big project? Choose special financing. The choice is yours with Sutherland's Friends of the Family Plus Consumer Credit Card. Subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payment required. See store for details. Only at Sutherland's.
Jackson approaching the football. There's the kickoff, and it goes out of the end zone. Lander will have it with 8 seconds left at the 20-yard line. And well, let's see if the Tigers will just take a knee here.
They should just take a knee, but, man, at this point, you're playing for first place. You already got an interception on your record. Just throw a Hail Mary. See what happens. Okay. Just be prepared if it gets picked off to tackle the guy, the Douglas Bearcat, because – that would be the only thing that could turn this game any worse before halftime. Long huddle for 8 seconds left.
Yeah, Stauffenberg comes in from huddling with Coach John Scott. Tigers were 5-2 this year. They could have been 6-1 had it not been for that debacle against Buffalo when they gave the ball up 4 times inside their own territory. Here's a long pass by Stauffenberg. It's caught by
Stevenson
out of bounds. And there's 4 seconds to go, so Stevenson gets the catch, and they're going to mark it at the 28-yard line, 8 yards on the catch.
And, you know, little things like that help, but with 8 seconds left, I don't know how much help you're going to get. This is where the Hail Mary should come, and they're going to spread out this defense. They got their fastest dude on the far left. They got their tallest dude on the far right.
Okay, here we go. Back to pass over to Matisse Weaver, and he's tackled right away, and there's the end of the first half. He only gets it up to the 20, well, no gain on the play, to the 28. So that is halftime, and the halftime score, Douglas 38,
yeah.
and Lander 0. Back after this.
Papa Murphy's is Proud to sponsor this week's Player of the Game. For a limited time, enjoy a Papa Murphy's barbecue chicken pizza made with KC Masterpiece barbecue sauce. After the game or anytime, you can't beat the fresh ingredients and authentic flavor of a Papa Murphy's Take and Bake pizza. And you know it's baked right every time because you baked it yourself. Papa Murphy's on North Federal in Riverton. Drop in or order online at papamurphys.com. Go Wolverines!
Snyder Signature Properties would like to give a huge shout out to the local sports of Fremont County. They are here to support your team and your local home real estate needs. Call today to see how Snyder Signature Properties can help you buy and sell your next property. Good luck to all Fremont County athletes.
Why should your new floor come from Carpet One? Because we're passionate about the spaces our neighbors call home. We're part of your community, and we're also part of the world's largest cooperative of independently owned and operated flooring stores. So you can be sure you'll get great selection and outstanding value with every installation. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, tile, or luxury vinyl, our experts take the guesswork out of choosing the right floor. We're your local Carpet One Floor and Home, the one store for your perfect floor.
You need an oil change, but you don't have a lot of time. Expressway Lubes on South Federal in Riverton and Highway 789 in Lander provide a fast, professional lube oil and filter change. Expressway Lubes, locally owned and proud to support our local student athletes.
Central Wyoming College now offers Bachelor of Applied Science degrees in Early Childhood Education and Organizational Management and Leadership, with an emphasis in outdoor education, tribal leadership, or business and entrepreneurial leadership. CWC offers 3 ways to learn: online, virtual, and in person. Learn, grow, lead, and advance at Central Wyoming College. CWC is leading the way with expanded programs in the Bachelor of Applied Science degrees.
It's Physical Therapy Month.
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 October is National Physical Therapy Month, and here at Teton Therapy, we are celebrating all month long. In our Lander and Riverton clinics, we're hosting special events, celebrations, and great giveaways for our patients, past, present, and future. Check us out at Teton Therapy PC on Facebook for more details.
Whatever. I like AP better.
And welcome to our halftime show brought to you by Central Wyoming College. For information on their wide range of courses and programs, including their 4-year bachelor degree programs, visit cwc.edu. Central Wyoming College, make your way out here. And well, what do we got on the field now, Shawn?
Well, we got the Douglas Marching Band, and if you're watching on WYO Today's stream, which I encourage everyone to always do, they are going to be kind of covered up by the Central Wyoming logo halftime show, but they are just coming off a superior rating at the state marching band competition out in Casper last week. One of only a handful of groups to win superior with their color guard. So it was Douglas that got superior, Thunder Basin, Wheatland, Sheridan, and Riverton High School got superior as well. Lander themselves got excellent, and the only school with less than that was Hot Springs County with a good, and we were just talking about how they rate their bands. So we are about to see a quote-unquote superior marching band. And right before we came back, they actually gave, I'm going to zoom in here on the WYO Today YouTube page, number 72 for Douglas, Luke Pointkowski. He's an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman. Someone came out and handed him a trombone. Looks like he's part of the band as well. Which is always funny because you know the rest of his team's getting praise in the locker room right now about their play, as well they should be, and he gets to stay out here and partake in the last marching band event probably of his – oh, no, he's a sophomore, so he'll have plenty more. But of the season, this will be the last time. So,
well, while we're waiting for the band, let's take a look at our halftime statistics. Lander has a total of 52 yards rushing, 28 by Harris, 23 by Weaver, and -8 by Stauffenberg. In the passing department, Brennan is 2 of 9 passes for 24 yards. Lander's total offense at halftime is 76 on our Central Wyoming College halftime show. On the other hand, the quarterback, Trey Wren, has 7 carries, 67 yards. Jackson Hughes has 3 carries for 32 yards. The big running back, Ewing, has a total, Carson Ewing has a total of 13 carries for 134 yards, and Skeen has 1 carry for 7 yards. That's a total of 240 yards rushing for Douglas. They have 60 yards in passing. 68 yards in passing. So they have, 68. They have 300 plus yards, 305. 300 plus yards, 305 plus yards to the Tigers' 76.
It just doesn't look good for Lander. There's not a whole lot that you can point at except for that one series that ended in a stripped fumble by, I still don't even know which running back got it, because Matisse and Gabe were standing on the left. So it is definitely not the best game for Lander. You could point at some of the biggest miracle comebacks in high school history, professional history, college history. I don't know if 38-0 is going to be one of them up there, but Lander definitely has their work cut out for him in the second half.
Okay, there's a young man with some developmental disabilities downstairs reading a very, very long script for some recognition of a couple of players there. He just ended and getting a nice ovation, pumps his chest 3 times with a fist, and they are having some kind of recognition for some of their disabled students here at halftime, Shawn.
Yeah, and I don't think it's homecoming week anymore, but they definitely had some cool stuff happening down on the field a little bit earlier with their pink night, and I wish I could hear more about what they're saying, but we're kind of standing underneath the speakers, so we're getting marbled words here. And I know that right now Lander is getting an earful from Coach John Scott right now. I just don't imagine that halftime locker room is very much fun, but right now the one thing that they can at least get back to feeling good about, they get the ball first.
Yeah, they get the ball first. They deferred, and Douglas took the ball on their opening drive, went 10 plays, 80 yards on a 29-yard run around the right side by the quarterback, Trey Wren. Excuse me. Hughes added the PAT, and it was 7-0. At 4:23 of the first, it was a 10-yard pass from Wren. Went over to Pyle, 17, Brock Pyle, for 10 yards. 5 plays, 52 yards. Hughes with the PAT, 14-0. At the 1:56 mark of the second period, it was a 2-yard run by Ewing, PAT by Hughes. 8 plays, 47 yards, 21-0. Then we had a 35-yard field goal by Hughes in the second quarter that made it 24-0. Then with 37 seconds left in the half, a 15-yard run by Ewing, PAT by Hughes. 8 plays, 42 yards, 31-0. And then the Douglas Bearcats had an interception, and Ewing took it in from 2 yards out with 8 seconds to go in the first half. 3 plays, 4 yards, and that's where we are, 38-0.
Yeah, there's, like I said, not a lot to look forward to or look back at and say that there's a lot of good. But right now, at least we're being presented a pretty cool marching band that I know just performed really well in Casper, so maybe we can at least get a little enjoyment out of this.
Little saxophone to start the event. Well, there's the march. They took 2 steps to the left and then 1 back to the right. Well, Shawn, we thought the wind was going to be a big factor in tonight's game, and it has had no impact.
No, definitely not. Maybe that one play to Evan Stevenson, it was a lot overthrown, and it might have been an overthrow, might have had the wind pick up underneath it, but either way, it seems like the wind is still going, and it's still happening the same direction, so no change, and right now, I don't think Lander needs anything else inhibiting their play.
Well, they get the ball to start the second half, so let's see what they can do there. We'll be back with the second half, and you've been listening right now to the Central Wyoming College halftime show, and that wraps up our CWC halftime program. Thank you, Central Wyoming College.
Back when I was riding in rodeos, I always made sure I was locked in, good and tight. Now as a touring musician, crisscrossing the country, I still make sure I'm locked in, good and tight. Of course I do.
Hauling ass, heading south, down the road in a gray Cadillac, coupe to fill.
Buckle up for life, Wyoming.
When repairs are complete after a collision, you expect your car, SUV, or truck to look like new. That's the service you'll receive at Stork Auto Body in Riverton. Professionalism and meticulous attention to detail. You can depend on Stork Auto Body, 841 Miniweb Avenue, Riverton.
Riverton Vision Center offers comprehensive eye health exams, highly trained staff, and a large selection of fashion eyewear and sunglasses. Dr. Ballard, Dr. Hinkle, and Dr. Frazier offer over 70 years of experience. Call Riverton Vision Center at 856-9451 to schedule an appointment today.
Hometown Freedom Healthcare, making healthcare great. Providing coverage in family medicine, women's health, pediatrics, and mental health. Meet providers Tara Blumenshine and Adina Vasco and Jessica Rodriguez. Come see us at Hometown Freedom Healthcare, locally owned, 463-0541.
Ernie Over and Shawn O'Rourke.
O'Brate.
Let me try that again. Ernie Over and Shawn O'Brate back with you at Douglas High School, where the homestanding Bearcats have a 38-0 lead. And at the beginning of this game, Shawn, we were talking about Lander needing to win by 7 points to get first place, and that kind of went away after the first drive of the game.
Yeah, all those talks are not going to be happening in this third quarter or this fourth quarter. All they can really do right now is try and save face, score quite a bit, as much as they can. For all we know, Douglas might start putting out a second-string defense and offense, make it a little easier for him. But if we've seen anything from this Douglas team and Coach Rhodes, they're not one of those teams to take their foot off the gas. They're going to most likely keep their foot on the neck of the Tigers. I can't imagine anything more Bearcats-esque than going out with a big score like that. So we'll wait and see. And Lander's coming out, and they don't look as amped up as maybe I would have hoped. You know, whenever you see a team that's losing come out of halftime and they might seem a little bit more jazzed or hyped up, it gets a little bit of spark in you. But right now they're coming out looking just a little sluggish, and I'm sure that Coach Scott has reamed them enough for them to know not to make any more mistakes right now.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a pleasant bus ride home.
No, it is not.
For the Lander Tigers tonight, as they've got 3.5 hours in the bus to think about this, and they'll get third place in the
I have that right
in the
here.
West. It'll be Douglas first, Buffalo second by virtue of its win over Lander, and then Lander third. And so Lander will not have a home game for the first round of the playoffs. They will go play the second place team from the East. And right now,
Yeah, I don't know who that would be right now. We're still waiting on some scores to come in. We do know Riverton is up at halftime. Riverton would be the number 4 seed in the West. I'm 99% positive that Riverton fans would love to reach the postseason, but would also hate to play Cody first.
Yeah.
Cody beat them up 49-0. I was at that game, calling that game. It was actually prettier than this game.
Yeah, the third place team from the West would be Jackson and or Powell, depending on which team wins tonight.
There's a chance they might go to Star Valley as well. Star Valley plays Jackson tonight, so I think the winner of that game would get second place.
Right. If Jackson were to beat Star Valley, then Lander would have to play Star Valley in Afton. So, well, we'll just wait and let them play the rest of the game here. And we are now at halftime. 15 seconds to go. It's Douglas 38 and Lander 0. You know, we were talking about Coach Jay Rhodes. He's in his 14th year, has won 113 games, and lost only 36. That's a pretty doggone good winning record. They were the state championship runners-up in 93, 94, and 95. They were the state champion. Oh, I'm sorry. They were the runners-up in 52, 59, 85, 99, 06, 07, 11, 13, and 14. And they have had 5 state championships in 75, 78, 2008, 2009, and 2010.
Boy, so they went on a tear there at the end of the 2000s.
Yeah, they sure did. Well, Jackson Hughes will take the football and tee it up and head it over to the Lander Tigers. Deep back is Gabe Harris for the Tigers.
If I were Gabe, I would almost immediately, I don't care if this is 5 yards in the end zone. Gabe has great vision, and he's great at kick returns. I might just take they squibbed it.
They squibbed it, and it goes out of bounds, so the Tigers will have it at the 35.
Well, there's some benefit.
That was a break.
Yeah, there's some benefit. But like I was saying, Gabe Harris is up there as one of the best returners in 3A. He had a punt return or a kickoff return for a touchdown against Riverton that was called back, which you and I called, and I've seen him return quite a few, more than at least 40 yards. So he has a lot of talent, and that's why they're not kicking to him. But if they were to make that mistake, I wouldn't be surprised if Gabe, down 38-0, tries to take it.
Okay, Tigers 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line. They come out. Wide receiver split wide to the left side is Beaver. One man in the backfield, under center. Fake. Oh, and the ball's knocked away. Really nice defensive move that time by TK Stinson.
Ooh.
He just knocked that ball away as
Beaver went down with a non-contact injury.
Uh-oh.
Is that Beaver?
Yeah, it's number 4. I believe
yeah.
It's number 4.
So he was coming back to the ball. For those on the radio, Brennan Stauffenberg faked a run to either Matisse or Gabe and did a little turnaround where he was going to try and toss a small bubble screen to Beaver. Beaver went down, but the ball was deflected anyway. No chance that was going to make a play. And, Ernie, I think it would be best if we were to take a timeout with this injury timeout.
I agree.
We will be right back on 93.1 KFCW and WYO Today's YouTube.
From the wide open spaces to the canyon near you, Wyoming.com is reaching more homes and businesses than ever before. Now it's getting even better. Wyoming.com, expanding to an area near you.
It's more than clocking in.
High Plains Power is a Touchstone Energy cooperative. What does that mean for you as a Rural Electric Association member? It all comes down to 7 principles: open membership, one voice, one vote, member benefits, independence, education, cooperation, and community. To understand how it all works, we're headed back in time. In 1879, electricity was in major cities, but rural areas were out of luck. In 1935, President FDR made it possible for companies to build power lines to unserved areas. By the time we hit 1941, some 400 electric co-ops had been organized to serve rural America, just like High Plains Power. For more information, visit highplainspower.org.
Well, Beaver is being walked off the field under his own power. The athletic trainer, Adam Simon, is out there, and the trainer from the Douglas Bearcats also came out, and back we go here. It's second down, 10 yards to go. One man in the backfield for Lander. The pitch goes to Harrison, or to Matisse Weaver, and he's caught 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Great defensive pursuit.
Great defensive pursuit. Good sportsmanship, too. Immediately tackled him and immediately got him up. And, again, we were so high on Tristan Osborne last week. We had him as one of our players of the game, and so far he has given up a lot off that edge position. That is one of many tackles for a loss, including a sack, that he has given up so far. And he just was pounding the ground. He knew that he gave up those yardage right there. So Osborne just needs to get in the right mindset here. He can't be giving up so much off the edge.
8-yard loss by Matisse Weaver. Stauffenberg in the gun. Play action, rolls to his right, throws downfield to Harris. It's caught at the 40-yard line and out of bounds, and the Tigers are going to have a 4th and 5.
That was a great 13-yard play there to get back up to at least close to the line of scrimmage. And those runs, those throws on the run, like we said, Brennan loves to do those. Stauffenberg is a big thrower on the run. He doesn't like to stay in the pocket, especially right now. This pocket's collapsing. So let's see if they try something similar on 4th and 5. Or, no, they're going to punt.
Well, let's look for a fake. You never know.
You never know. Down 38-0, I would imagine you go for it on every 4th down unless you're in your own red zone.
That was Gabe Harris's first catch of the afternoon. Okay, there's the snap. It's going to be a kick, and Matisse Weaver gets it off the right side of his foot. It goes out of bounds, and we're going to have to wait and see where they're going to place the ball on the field. The official is now marching up. He's across the 40-yard line. He's across the 45. Oh, goodness. And they stop at the 47-yard line. So it'll go to the 47-yard line for Douglas, and that is only 30 yards.
That was a 21-yard punt.
Yeah, it's 30 yards from the line of scrimmage to the other line of scrimmage, 21 yards on the punt.
And, you know, I don't want to say I'm not surprised, but we've talked to Coach Scott a lot. He likes to be aggressive. I'm really surprised he didn't go for it, especially after a big completion like that. And Joel Beaver being out may not have made it that much easier, but you still got Stevenson and Matisse and Gabe. I'm just surprised.
Under center now is the quarterback, Wren. Wren has the handoff, goes on the near side, and the Tigers fumble. And let's see who's got it. I think Douglas jumped on top of it.
Yeah, Bearcats fumble, and I don't know if it was the running back fumbling the ball from a hit or if he never got the handoff right away. But either way, Douglas is lucky to get that, and they lost only just a couple yards here.
They lost 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 15 on the fumble. Well, that was pretty cool. That was Gabe Harris who was up on defense that time, too. 10:30 to go, third period, 38-0. Douglas with the lead. In the gun now is Wren. Takes the snap, pitches it on the near side. Turning and
big stiff
pulled
arm
out of bounds with maybe a yard or two on the gain. And that was
Carter Archuleta. That's the first name we've called.
42.
First time we've called his name. He's a big boy, man. He's listed as a running back. That's a fullback right there. And he had a stiff arm on Lander, but good defensive pursuit. They were able to drag him down.
Only 2-yard gain on the play by Archuleta.
I got a score update. We talked about how hard it was going to be for Thermopolis going up against number 1 Level. It is 19-6 in favor of Level with 9:20 to go in the second.
9:36 to go in the third here. 38-0 Douglas. In the gun is Wren. Takes 3 steps back, looks downfield. Pass is caught at the 50-yard line, breaks one tackle, breaks another. He's got a full ring to the end zone, and that's Jackson. Jackson pulled down at the 10-yard line. Whoa, they had him bottled up, and he got away.
That was a stop and a half. They had multiple times to bring him down before he crossed that first down marker, and he just turned around. I mean, I don't know if Lander thought he was going to keep going to the left, but next thing you know, he turns around, and he's going to the right, and there's no one there, and he picks up big chunky yards there.
32-yard gain by Jackson Hughes, and he now has 4 carries, 64 yards, and it is 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line for the Douglas Bearcats.
That's been Lander's defense all night. They'll have 2 good stops, and then the third one just goes for 30 or 40 yards.
Back in the gun is Wren. Hughes in motion. Wren drops the ball. He's being pursued, rolls to his left-hand side, and he's knocked out of bounds at about the 6-yard line.
Good
nice
pursuit there, nice tackle.
Pursuit. Yeah, finally, by the Tigers. That was, no, I can't see. That was at 2?
25.
Stevenson.
That was Hunter Velarde that tackled him.
Hunter Velarde got him out of bounds. The gain is down to the 7-yard line. So 5 yards on the play.
I definitely am not using this as any sort of excuse, but I do find it funny. I saw quite a bit of these Lander football players last night in Riverton at the volleyball game trying to cheer on their Lander Lady Tigers. Maybe they're just a little tired. Who knows?
Well, it could be, but it's an important football game for Lander, and they have not performed tonight. Here's Wren rolling out, play action. Under pursuit, heaves it downfield, and it's out of bounds. Incomplete.
And that was very close to being a sack, but one thing that Wren has been doing all night to fake out these Lander Tigers, he'll do this little stop and shuffle where he doesn't even complete a full pump fake, but he'll take both hands off the ball, and he'll look downfield, and the defensive linemen that are in the backfield, they just stop in their tracks as if the play is going to go through the air, and instead they just need to keep running and just try and get the sack. If you get a roughing the passer call, at least you can say you tried.
3rd down, 5 yards to go from the 7-yard line. Douglas can get a first down without scoring a touchdown. Wren back in the gun. Hughes in motion, goes to the second man through, and that is Jackson Hughes, and
Nope,
didn't make it. They stopped him 1.25 inches short of the goal line.
And that will get him the first down, but not the touchdown. And Wren just quickly looks at the coach, and I think they had this play call already lined up. I'd be very surprised if this wasn't a QB sneak or a run right around the edge. They've been successful in both.
Okay, here they come up to the line. 1st and goal inside the 1-yard line. Wren under center. And we have an offside on Lander. So they'll move it in another inch closer to the goal line.
A fingernail closer to the goal line here. Actually, Douglas looks like they're walking backwards, so this might be a false start, maybe a lineman. Yep, false start.
It is a false start. And they move it back to the 6-yard line.
Little bit of luck for Lander.
On the penalty, yeah. Okay, let's see what happens this time. 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. There's the snap. Handoff goes to Archuleta, and he is caught and dropped down at very little gain. Maybe a loss on the play. Let's see. Archuleta took the ball and went to his left and was pulled down by the Tigers, and there's a flag on the field right there at the 9-yard line.
Ref's getting a little flag happy, but it looks like it keeps going against Douglas, so.
Yeah, Douglas is moving back down the field.
Holding
against Douglas. Yep, so that'll be a 10-yard penalty, so that'll move it back to the 16. Well, they move it to the 19-yard line. So that's a 13-yard penalty.
Well, in this miraculous what-if comeback, it would have to start with Lander getting the ball back, and while they're getting lucky with these penalties, there is a lot of time running off the clock right now. This would be the most miraculous comeback I've ever seen.
Back in the gun, rolling to his right side. Wren throws it downfield, and Jackson dropped it. Jackson Hughes drops it.
Again, Lander benefits from a dropped pass. I think that's the 4th one so far. 2nd by Jackson this quarter. So Lander's just getting a little lucky here and there, and 2nd and 19 from the 19. Well, I guess I should say 2nd and goal from the 19.
Yeah. 2nd and goal, 7:42 to go, 3rd period, 38-0. Douglas with the football and the lead. Receivers, twins to the left, single to the right, one man in the slot, one man in the backfield. There's the snap. It goes to Ewing. Ewing finds a little bit of room on the outside. Touchdown, Douglas.
Again, that outside defensive edge is just not doing their jobs. And there's the fire trucks, if you can hear them. The defensive edge on both the left and the right side of Lander just getting boat raced tonight. if there was an opposite of a player of the game, I don't know if that would be too mean to say, but it would be the edge pressure there.
That's a 9-play drive that went 47 yards. And here's Hughes for the PAT. The kick is up, and it is good. So the score now moves 45-0. And I believe that's where we have
running
the
clock.
running clock.
Yes, the running clock will start. And instead of going to ads, I'm just going to stay here with this because they're going to go to kickoff here shortly. I think that Lander right now knows that this game is pretty much impossible. So I would be surprised to see them do anything out of character. They want to keep all their players healthy for the playoffs because now they know they're probably going to have to travel, and they don't know who they're going to have to face just yet, most likely Star Valley or Jackson like we talked about during the halftime show. But right now I would look for them to be a little conservative and make sure that their players, they've already lost Beaver. I don't see Beaver out there, so maybe he's staying on the sideline. But they don't want to lose any players for the playoffs, no matter how bad this game gets.
Well, that was a 9-play, 47-yard drive, and it goes 45-0 Douglas. And for Ewing, that is his 4th touchdown of the night.
Wow. And it's not even the middle of the third quarter yet.
Yep. Well, the Tigers have got to be disappointed with their play here today. This was, we were talking earlier, Shawn, about them needing to win and by how many points. And, boy, that just disappeared right away in the early stages of the game. The kickoff is going to be returned.
Take it, Gabe.
And that is Gabe Harris. He's up to the 15, 20, 25, 30, 33-yard line.
Man,
nice run by Gabe Harris.
He got tripped up by one of the Douglas kickers. If he hadn't had to have hurdled that, I think he could have found a way through that hole. There was only one Douglas Bearcat to stop him, and he ended up getting him because Gabe had to slow down with a little hurdle over a fallen Bearcat.
So the Tigers have it first down, 10 yards to go at their own 33-yard line, and the clock is now at 7 minutes and 2 seconds and running.
Again, this is a beautiful stadium, but you and I can't see the scoreboard, so we keep having to double-check the time.
Yeah, we have to lean out to kind of see the scoreboard, which is over to our left. The lighting is excellent, I have to say that. They've done a nice job with the lights here at Douglas. Okay, Tigers, 1st and 10 at the 33. There's a give to Harris, and Harris squirts ahead to about the 37-yard line. No, that was 25.
That's Velarde.
That was Hunter Velarde.
Again,
I beg your pardon, Hunter Velarde with that carry.
Again, I would not be surprised if you start to hear or see some numbers that you haven't seen on a first-string offense very much this year because they'd rather have all their guys, all their key players ready for next week.
5-yard gain up to the 42-yard line. Trips to the left side. In the gun is Stauffenberg. Throws to his left, incomplete. Defending on the play was Hughes.
Boy,
and
he got.
The intended receiver was Stevenson.
Yeah, Brennan Stauffenberg just got walloped on that pass there. That might have been why the pass was a little bit weary. But either way, 3rd and 5, you have to find a way to convert this. We've already seen you punt on 4th and 5. What happens if you get 3 or 4 yards here?
And we do have a running clock since Douglas has a 45-point lead. So that will speed things up just a little bit here. Under center is Stauffenberg. There's the handoff, goes to Matisse Weaver. Matisse has got a first down to the 40. Oh, they're going to mark him short.
This is what I was just saying. What are you going to do if it's 4th and 1? And it looks like they actually are going to give it to him.
Well, they gave it to him. There's a 5-yard run, and he's down at the 43-yard line.
That was just a 5-yard. That was a 4.5-yard run that they got a little bit of a lucky break on there.
Yeah.
Now, this is where I'd like to see. Now, they're playing one deep safety on Douglas, and that's what they've been doing for most of the game. And they're playing heavy on the right side because they have 3 wide receivers on the right. I would love to see him go to the air to the left here.
And that's what he's going to do. There's the pass downfield, caught by Weaver. Another first down for the Tigers at the 47-yard line of Lander. 10 yards on the play.
Yeah, Weaver found that soft spot in the zone like he did a little earlier. Or that was Harris that had the soft spot earlier. But that's where they really like to attack all the defenses they go against, is right there in the middle of that zone.
Tigers quickly up to the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10 inside Douglas territory for the second time tonight. Stauffenberg back to pass.
Oof.
Oh, and there was that
hit.
same pass. And tell you what, Jackson Hughes is over there to help the Lander player up. And that was
Matisse again.
Yeah.
Jackson came up and just leveled his shoulder into the back of Matisse as he tried to make that catch. Matisse is still catching his breath. I would be too. That was a rough one.
3rd down, 10 yards to go. Ball at the Douglas 42. Clock rolling with 3:47 to go in the third, and Tigers down 45 points. Back to pass Stauffenberg. Looks to his left, throws to his right, caught at the 40-yard line.
No, he dropped it.
Oh, did he drop it?
Yeah, I know you're sitting. I know your eyesight's a little lower than mine right now, but he had it in his hands, dropped it. That was number 6.
That was Cordier.
Cordier, who made a great catch last week. And now look at this, 4th and now it's 3rd and 10. We were a down early. But that was just an out route on the flat that Cordier should have had.
3:15 to go. The clock is rolling. We have a running clock here with Douglas up 45 points. Tigers have twins off to the right side. One receiver off to the left. One man in the backfield. Back to pass. Stauffenberg under pressure. Heaves it downfield, and it's just out of the reach of, was that Evan?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, just out of the reach of Evan Stevenson.
That would have been – he's lucky that wasn't intercepted because the defender had one hand that he probably could have grabbed it with. That would have been a spectacular Odell Beckham-like catch, but still, that was more a pass to the defender than it was, and they're going to punt.
Yeah, Lander 4th and 10.
Obviously, you never want to advocate more offense on a after what I've been saying where you want to keep your guys healthy, but just no urgency, no desire to score, it seems like right now.
Matisse Weaver back at the 40, takes the snap, high end-over-end kick, and it comes down at the 13-yard line. That's where Jackson Hughes catches it, and Douglas will have it 1st and 10 at their own 13.
And while we're here, I'd love to give a little score update. It is 25-6 Lovell now. The Bobcats did have a big 66-yard touchdown pass. And Riverton, who was up on Worland, remember that's a win and in game. Whoever wins between Riverton and Worland gets that number 4 seed, and will probably have to play Cody at Cody next week. But Riverton has lost the lead. They are now down 20-14 at the end of the third. That's a big game. Riverton being 1-7 and maybe going to 2-7 and entering the playoffs would be crazy.
Here's Douglas, 1st and 10 at their own 13. Hash mark far side, one man in the backfield. Here's the pitch. It goes to 27, and I don't have a 27. Maybe that was a different number. Trying to see who that was over there. They gained about 4 yards.
Oh, no, that was 17. That was Brody.
That was 17?
That was Pyle.
Okay, that was the running back, Brock Pyle, and he moves the football, let's see, 5 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 5 yards to go. They're at the 18-yard line.
That was a lot of hullabaloo for 5 yards. And they're going to keep playing this spread offense. They want Lander's defensive backs to stay on the outside because they're just able to get whatever they want with the run.
Play action pass. Wren cut. No, that's a new quarterback. And he throws it.
Ooh.
Oh, what a hit that was.
That was Brennan.
And flag is going to be called. Oh,
that
wow.
What is hit on a defensive player? I don't know what that would be. That was a great tackle. Brennan just laying out for Brock Pyle. And you're right, that is a new quarterback. That's Jackson Hodgeba. Well,
we have a penalty here, and it looks like it's going to go against Lander on that tackle.
I just want to know what it's for. He didn't hit his head. He didn't aim high. He went for the torso of a receiver, and yeah, it was a hard hit, but I don't see any reason why that should be a penalty.
They've marked the ball at the 30-yard line. Here's the umpire.
Targeting
is the call.
I'm never one to really bash on any refs, especially while on air, but that was not a good call.
Well, the play is going to go to the 39-yard line.
Oh, John Scott is – I would love to use a word I could on the radio, but John Scott is not happy right now.
On the penalty. So it's first down 10 at the 39-yard line. After that pass and catch, the catch went for 15 yards. And that is now 73 yards in passing by Wren.
And this second-string offense of Douglas, I mean, if Lander's starting to give up a lot here for the second string, they need to really take a look at this defense before they head to the playoffs next week.
Just 13 seconds to go here, and the clock will start, and the officials are still discussing that last play. That was called targeting against the Tigers.
If this was college, he'd be kicked out.
Yeah, that would be. And I'm not well, that if that was an elimination play, that would mean Stauffenberg would be out.
And they're gonna pick the flag up. I think this is the right decision. Oh no, I think they're just deciding where it's going to be based on where the hit was.
Back on the well, that's where the hit was on the 34.
So they're not picking up the flag. They're just moving the ball back to the 34. They originally had it on like the 38, give or take.
Yeah. And the time's going to run out on the third period. 45, Douglas 0, Lander. We'll be back with the final 12 minutes right after this.
Natural Health Solutions offers treatments for a variety of conditions, along with nutritional counseling, chiropractic, acupuncture, and more. Treatment plans designed individually to optimize your health. Call for an appointment, 856-8181 today. The staff and board at the Fremont County Fair wish to thank everyone who attended the fair this year. Whether you enjoyed Family Day, a night event, entered a craft show, or showed your livestock, thank you for all your efforts. We'll be moving and grooving next year, so stay tuned.
If your vehicle needs repair, you can depend on the crew at Extra Care Auto Repair. They can repair almost anything with wheels, gas, diesel, domestic, or import, and their work is top quality and reliable. Extra Care Auto Repair on North Federal in Riverton.
Wyoglass wants to wish all the Lander Valley Tiger teams good luck this year. Wyoglass is locally owned and operated in Lander. They bleed green. Call or stop in today to get a quote on a window or get a quick fix on your window for a rock chip. Wyoglass is Lander.
Back again for the final 12 minutes of the contest here tonight in Douglas. The Bearcats rolling over the Tigers 45-0, and this was totally unexpected, Shawn.
Yeah, unexpected to say the least. I think that one thing that Lander can at least come away with here is that Douglas is the better team and they don't want to meet him up in the playoffs. But right now, they're all their eyes. I know that most coaches and players will tell you that they focus on the game at hand, but I think everyone in white right now is looking ahead to next week and hoping that it's nothing like tonight has been.
Yeah, a lot of new players out there for Douglas. And let's see, can't see the quarterback's number.
We will see here in a second.
We'll see him in a minute. And it's 6 or 9. It's 6, Jackson Hushbaugh. And he goes straight ahead, quarterback sneak, and he makes it back to the line of scrimmage.
No, that is number 9, which makes more sense because Cash Tillard is their backup quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
Cash Tillard, a sophomore.
Loses a yard on the play, goes back to the 35.
Great name, Cash.
Yeah.
Got to play a sport if your name is Cash.
That's right. 11 and a half minutes to go. We have a running clock. And Jackson Hushbaugh, 5'10", 160 senior, is getting some reps here on the final regular season game of the year here in Douglas.
That was a false start.
Rolls to his left, licking, throws it out of bounds. Incomplete pass.
And if I could give myself some plug here, Cody Beers, we haven't talked about it at all, but Cody Beers and myself will be in Ethity tomorrow. You can catch us on Wild Today's YouTube page. We're going to be at the State Cross Country Championship out at beautiful Ethity. I was lucky enough to call the Chief Nation Invitational there earlier this season, and it's just a gorgeous place to run. We're going to be there bright and early. 10 o'clock we're going to start, and the first race, I believe, starts at 10:30. Starts with 4A girls, 4A boys, 3A girls, 3A boys, so on and so forth. So you'll get to see everyone from Riverton to Lander to Thermopolis to any team in Wyoming. You're going to be able to see them and their best runners, including Riverton's Caden Chatfield, who I think is one of the favorites to win for the boys in his division. It's going to be a great day. Can't wait.
And the quarterback is going to be sacked about 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and that is Gabe Harris. That was 57.
that was a gang tackle there at the end, but yeah, I think it was 57.
Yeah.
And one more plug, since we already have some playoff knowledge about next week. Cody Beers, who's been calling Fremont County small school games of the week all season, I've been lucky enough to call a few with him. He is going to be at Shoshone, I believe Friday at 2 p.m. As they will take on the number 4 seed in that division. That'll be a great game. Shoshone's looking to defend their state championship, and if it weren't for that big win at Wind River last week, who knows, they could have been number 2 or 3 like the Cougars are right now.
And there's the punt on 4th down. It's a high punt. Takes a Douglas bounce, and it's going to be down inside the 35 at the 34-yard line. So that's where Lander will have it with 9 minutes to go on the running clock.
Yeah, running clock's going to be a benefit to Lander because at least they'll get home a little bit earlier. I know they wish they could be in a position without a running clock right now where they were a little closer, but there's going to be a lot of work in practice this week, I believe.
Yeah, I believe so. And a lot of the Tiger faithful are still there on the far side on those beautiful rock bleachers.
I've seen a few leave, but you're right. Most of them are still.
It's kind of like the rock they use at the University of Wyoming on the buildings there. Here's the pass is caught, and with the ball is, let's see, who is that? Is that 27?
Yeah, that's Gabe.
Yeah, Gabe Harris. Gabe gets a 9-yard completion up to the 43-yard line, and that's a nice run by Gabe, 9 yards.
Yeah, that little screen could have worked a lot more earlier.
There's another pass, and this one goes to Hunter Velarde. He breaks free. He's in the open. Oh, and he gets caught by a toenail at the 40-yard line, falls forward to the 36.
Yeah, Velarde told me a couple weeks ago he wants to get more ingrained in this offense, especially before the postseason. If he makes little bursts like that, who knows, he could be catching balls on the first string next week.
Okay. Nice 21-yard gain on that play. First down and 10 in Douglas territory. Stauffenberg and throws it to Weaver, who was pass went over his head, so it'll be incomplete.
Well, Weaver was a little stopped up there by Brody Wagner, the senior defensive back for Douglas. He just got stopped right at the 5-yard line, so it wasn't a penalty, but it was a good stop there by Douglas.
7 minutes to go in the game. Lander has the ball. Second down, 10 yards to go at the Douglas 35. Lander looking for their first points of the game. Tigers in the huddle. They almost huddled at the line of scrimmage that time. Stevenson comes out wide on the near side.
This is where they like to target Stevenson. Ooh. Oh!
Intercepted. And it's Jackson Hughes. Is that 12? Hughes is going to be caught. He's still in bounds. Now he runs out of bounds.
I had trouble falling.
Ball.
Yeah, so for those on the radio, Brennan was getting heckled in the backfield there, and he stepped up in the pocket and made kind of a jumping throw. The throw was actually pretty good on target there, pretty solid aim. Matisse was just a short hair behind, and he lifted up one hand to try and haul it in, and instead of hauling it in, he tipped it up in the air. And I do believe that was Jackson Hughes that got the interception there.
Jackson Hughes had the interception. That's his second tonight. And the ball, first and 10 for Douglas at the Lander 43. And we're down to under 6 minutes to go in the game now. And the new quarterback is
Cash.
Is it Cash Tillard, number 9? There's the handoff straight up the middle. Doesn't.
Wow.
Breaks one tackle, breaks another, still going, and he's close to the line to gain. Wow. Lander couldn't bring him down.
That was some extra effort being pushed by number 70. Bless you. Number 70, Logan Ortega, the offensive lineman, the 6'4", 250-pound offensive lineman, I should say, for Douglas, by far the biggest man on the field right now. He just picked up his running back and moved him forward about 3 or 4 extra yards.
Yeah, Wagner was the carry. He gets 9 yards on the play. 5 minutes to go now. Ball is at the 48-yard line in Lander territory. And these kids, they'd love to come in and score because that's what they're here for. One man in motion now to the right. Here's the handoff. Breaks one tackle.
Ooh.
I think he's got enough for the first down.
He got gang tackled around the 48, and they're going to put him right between the 47 and the 48.
It's going to be very close to the line to gain. And let's see where they're going to mark it down. They're marking it at the 47.
That'll be a
first down. So he'll have first down yardage to the 47-yard line.
That was a little generous there, but
a whole lot generous.
It's just, it all comes back to the same thing we've been talking about. If the running back going against Lander, whether it's Douglas, whether it's Ben Warland, whether it was Rollins for that little bit, if they can get out to the outside of the line, I mean, it's almost too easy for them to gain at least 5 yards.
Here's a pitch in the backfield.
Oh, fumble.
Lander recovers it at the 50-yard line. The ball was knocked away, and Lander picks it up. And the Tigers get their first turnover of the night. And on the bottom of that stack for the Tigers is Gavin Romer. Congratulations, Gavin. They got the strip, and Lander takes over now. First down, 10 yards to go, right at midfield. And that was we've got 3.5 minutes to go.
That was the guy that we were just talking about, Brody Wagner for Douglas. He got the pitch and was just met in the backfield by 2 different Lander Tigers. And when he tried to juke one out, he started getting dragged down by him and just lost the ball.
In the gun underneath, there's a Hunter Velarde. Velarde's got first down yardage almost. No, they're going to mark him short at the 39. So Velarde with 9 yards on the carry.
Velarde has some explosiveness. He's very underutilized in this offense because of the weapons that they have on first string. But right now with Beaver out and with Pasquinelli out, I would not be surprised to just let Hunter Velarde get a lot of snaps in since he doesn't typically.
Under 3 minutes to go now. Harris gets the pitch. Harris has the first down and more. He's at the 30-yard line down to the 29-yard line. It'll be a nice 12-yard game for the Tigers.
And you know all that's on their mind right now is to score before the 2.5 minutes that are left tick down to triple zeros. They don't want to go home with a goose egg on their shoulders.
Stauffenberg is in the gun. There's the snap. Takes 3 steps back, heaves it into the end zone for Harris. It's too long. Harris had his hand outstretched, but the ball flew right over his head.
I almost couldn't tell who that was going to. He aired it out so well. Gabe was in one side of the end zone, and Stevenson was right beside him. I think both could have made a play on the ball.
Under 2 minutes to go now. Tigers better hurry up. The clock will not stop.
The Douglas faithful are leaving. They're getting a head start on the way home, and I've seen a few Landers get up. It's a 2.5-hour drive home for both Ernie and I imagine that the Lander fans are not excited to go home after this one as well.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of quarterbacking. Saturday morning quarterbacking. Back to passes, Stauffenberg. He's looking downfield. Throws downfield. Harris! Oh, he had it, and it went right through his hands in the end zone. Incomplete.
Man, that is disappointing after the effort that Britton put forth to not get sacked. He had 3 blue jerseys around him, and he took a big step up in the pocket. He did that same thing where he does a little leap when he throws the ball, and it's not so much it's not something you see very often because he's not leaping forward, he's leaping up.
Lander calls timeout with 1:16 to go in the game, trailing by 45 points.
In any sport, athletes face the chance of sustaining an injury. According to the Athletic Training Association, 90% of student athletes reported some sort of sports-related injury. What's more is 54% report playing while injured. For various reasons, sports-related injuries are increasingly leaving our youth at risk of exposure to opioid-based pain medication. Fremont WhenTheGameSlowsDown.com is here to help navigate monitoring medication, social support, and suggestions on what to do when the game slows down. Brought to you by Fremont County Prevention Program. Gotchi Rehabilitation and Wellness knows what it means to be on top of your game. For over 60 years, Gotchi has led the field in providing physical therapy, occupational therapy, and wellness in Thermopolis and their facilities in Worland, Basin, Powell, Cody, and Shoshone. Whether you're recovering from an injury, deconditioned, post-stroke, or just looking to take control of your health, you'll find years of dedicated experience paired with personal care at Gotchi Rehabilitation and Wellness. Learn more at gotchi.org.
Well, a pass to Weaver down at the 22 was incomplete. Another drop pass.
He was wide open, too. He just had to fall towards the ball. I don't know if it was necessarily a poor throw, but Matisse just tried to get under it and ended up falling, and it got dropped, and that's another timeout. They're really trying to score with 56.5 seconds left. We will take another timeout with them.
Riverton's Hampton Inn & Suites is proud to sponsor our youth athletics in Fremont County. Fremont County school athletics provide our youth timeless experiences and lessons that can lead to success for life. Setting goals, teamwork, and hard work make young athletes into good citizens.
A proud sponsor of this broadcast is Bailey Enterprises. For over 50 years, Bailey has become the name you can trust. With Pit Stop Travel Centers, you can fuel up and stock up on trip snacks at locations all over Fremont County. You can also put your trust in Bailey Tire and Auto for service to keep handy for those times when your luck runs out on the road. Refresh at the Speedway Cafe with a dine-in meal or a round of carry-out with a variety of specials to keep you going. Go with Bailey.
56 7/10 seconds left in this one. Very disappointing game for the Lander Tigers, and the Douglas Bearcats move now to 7-1 overall. Lander falls to 5-3 and will more than likely end up in third place in the East Conference. Here's Stauffenberg back to pass, throws it downfield.
Ooh, great defense by number 5.
It was intended for Stevenson. That was fourth down, and Douglas is going to take over at the 30-yard line, and there's just 40 seconds to go. They might not even have a chance to get up to the line of scrimmage.
Boy, Stevenson had that in his hands. He had the first down. That was great defense by the junior, Anthony Mendiola. He just got his hand in there and pushed it out as he was coming down with it. Just excellent defense. You can't ask for much better from a Bearcats perspective there.
Okay, the Bearcats are walking off the field.
They know
right
what
now.
they want.
The game is all over. Just 10 seconds left on the scoreboard. Final score, Douglas 45, Lander 0. We'll be back with our Click It or Ticket postgame show right after this.
Visit Lander Gambles to make your home feel like new. They will beat any competitor's price. Stop by to speak to one of the sales agents or visit LanderGambles.com. Lander Gambles will help you find the perfect product that fits your budget and lifestyle. Lander Gambles, 420 Main Street, Lander, Wyoming.
Community Health Centers of Central Wyoming has locations across Fremont County ready to serve you at DuBois Medical Clinic, Riverton Community Health, and Lander Community Health Pediatrics. We accept all forms of insurance, including Medicaid and Medicare. Are you struggling to get medical care? Ask for their sliding fee scale. From family medicine to pediatrics, Community Health Centers are here to serve you. Call 307-463-7160 or visit chccw.org to schedule your appointment. Wyoming Community Bank is ready to serve you. Stop in at any one of their branches located in Riverton, Lander, and DuBois, a bank that is owned and operated by the locals of Fremont County. Wyoming Community Bank. They're here to help you.
Your car or truck is an investment. When it needs repairs, you need someone you can trust to do the job right. Take it to Gunners Automotive. They repair all makes and models of cars and trucks, from oil changes to brakes, tires, and more. Gunners Automotive, 856-2288.
Jay Collins here, and I want to wish all the Fremont County athletes good luck this year. Stop down at Fremont Chevy to talk sports and let me help you purchase your next vehicle. Jay Collins, your local sales professional at Fremont Chevy Buick GMC, 307-349-7846.
Number.
Back again on our Click It or Ticket postgame show here on KFCW 93.1 and YO Today YouTube. Here in Douglas, the Tigers go down to defeat 45-0. They fall to 5-3 on the year. We'll know what the playoff conditions are probably tomorrow morning after we get all the scores in from tonight. The Tigers were tied with Buffalo, and Buffalo was playing at Rollins, and putting 2 and 2 together, we'd come with a win for Buffalo. They're a lot stronger. And that's going to be it. I tell you what, the next game we have is going to be in the playoffs, and the only decision yet to be made is when and where.
Yep, and we will find that out. You can check out more on wyotoday.com. As your sports director, I will take it upon myself to learn all the scores tonight on the way home on our 2.5-hour drive, and hopefully by tomorrow morning we will have a glimpse of what Lander will be looking at, what Riverton might be looking at. They are losing to Worland right now. 42-21 Worland, so I would imagine what Worland will be looking at, as well as your 9-man, your 6-man, and the rest of your playoffs. If you are listening to this and you don't want to go to wyotoday.com, you can check this out in the Ranger or Lander Journal on Wednesday. In the sports sections, we will have the playoff times and ready. And
Coach John Scott out there being comforted by his grandkids.
Hey, he's going to need it as much as everyone here.
Line. Yeah. Well, I tell you, Shawn, it was a toughie for the Tigers tonight. No one expected this kind of a blowout, but it happened. And the Tigers just now have to do what they've been doing all year long, is take it one game at a time. And the next time they play is going to be in the playoffs. So that's going to be the most important game of the season.
Yep, and that quarterfinal curse is going to have to be beaten on the road. You know that they obviously wanted that home field advantage to beat that curse. It's just going to be a lot tougher now, especially if they have to play Buffalo.
Yeah, exactly.
But while we also want to get on the road home, let's go ahead and hit our Papa Murphy's Player of the Game. We want to give a big shout-out to Hunter Velarde. We were mentioning a little bit of him. He hasn't been in very many first-string offenses all season, but he had his number called a little late tonight after the blowout was pretty much secured. We're going to give him a Papa Murphy's gift card. Enjoy that free pizza, you and all your sisters. He's got a huge family that is always at every game, big support. And then Gabe Harris, we're going to give him our Gatorade Player of the Game because I think based on unofficial math that we've done up here, Gabe Harris had the most yardage for the Tigers.
Yeah, both running and passing.
Yes, and so those two players are going to get a Gatorade, and one of them is going to get a Papa Murphy's gift card. But for now, right now, our post-game show is looking like all of Lander is heading home right now.
They're all gone. This has been the post-game show sponsored by Click It or Ticket. Remember, wear that seatbelt every ride, every time. It's really important. You can save your life by having that seatbelt on, as most of Wyoming's fatalities of late come at the hands of single vehicle rollovers where the driver and or passengers are ejected. So that's going to be it tonight for the Tiger broadcast. And Shawn, a break.
Yeah, this has been a fun season so far. And we will talk to you next week from the playoffs. Good luck to Lander, and we will talk to you guys later. Have a great rest of your weekend.
My name is Sarah Lowe, and I have been in law enforcement in Fremont County for 13 years. I didn't know much about therapy in general until I got injured in October of 20 chasing a cow. So I had to get shoulder surgery. And after my surgery with Fremont Orthopedics, I went to Fremont Therapy. And they were really excited to see you. So it was a really warm, welcoming experience. We tried all sorts of different methods to increase and make sure I had the best mobility for my job. Rachel's a firecracker. She's just a little spitfire. It was fantastic, a great environment to go and have your therapy.
Are you a caring person that wants to help but not sure where to go? Wyoming Senior Citizen Inc. is looking for caregivers across the state. Call 307-856-6880 to find out more information. They would like to wish all Fremont County athletes good luck this year.
Back when I was riding in rodeos, I always made sure I was locked in, good and tight. Now as a touring musician, crisscrossing the country, I still make sure I'm locked in, good and tight. Of course I do.
Hauling ass, heading south, down the road in a gray Cadillac, coupe to fill.
Buckle up for life, Wyoming.
The choice is yours. Sutherland's Friends of the Family Plus Consumer Credit Card lets you choose from 5% off instantly at the register